What's going on, Duckers? And thanks for tuning into this episode of the Decoy live stream podcast. Looks like we got quite a few people in here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Killinator, I know you've been around for a long time over on Twitch, and then I think I saw some mods over in the YouTube chat. I think I need to figure out a new way to multi-stream, because I think the chat is very, very delayed. So if you guys have any advice as far as what is the best platform to multi-stream on, let me know in chat right now. Yeah, time to layer with Decoy Octopus. Wasn't it Decoy Ocelot? Or is it somebody? No, Revolver Ocelot. Decoy Octopus. Liquid Snake. Solid Snake. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. That is. The Decaf Bat bot from Temu. I really should sell my own type of pencil bat. Maybe it's a crayon. Maybe it's like a Sharpie or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yes, this is the Streamlabs I can't figure out. I think it's Streamlabs, right? I think whenever I try to use, isn't it Streamlabs like the same exact thing as OBS? But it has extra stuff added on top of it, and I just can't figure it out. I don't know why. Decoy Octopus was the DARPA chief in the first Metal Gear, so you never even saw the real Decoy Octopus, right? Could have been me, man. Could have been my face. Glad you caught another live stream over here. And the thing is, with the others, with that studio, all chat's in one window. I have all chat in one window. It's just delayed. And also with that, I think they watermark it. And I even told their head guy, it's like, I'm not gonna use your thing if it automatically watermarks your thing on here. Like, I want to be able to what is this? I want to be able to customize it and move it around if I need to. Like that's the big part with OBS. It's just they're completely, like, what is it? The open broadcast software. I want to be able to customize. Love your videos, bro. You are better than the news. I appreciate that. I feel like it is sad that I think Tim Pool is exposing leftist mainstream media outlets are now starting to drop their own podcasts because they think that's the future of the way people will consume news, like Joe Rogan, and they just fundamentally don't understand their audience. They thought back in the day when all you had was 13 channels on your TV, like it was a knob. That's how old I am. Like the television didn't have like channel 5, channel 500, whatever it was like a knob that said, here's the 13 channels you get, whatever your antenna can find. That's what you see. Like, there was no HDMI input. Like, channel, I think it was 3. Channel 1 didn't exist. Channel 3 was like your VHS or your Nintendo input. They thought back in the day when the news media was a one-way street. The newspaper told you. The TV told you. You have no internet. You had no way of figuring things out for yourself. You just received it. So it's very easy for the news media to just outright lie to you, and you would accept their information because it's the news. You trust them. Ever since the internet happened, social media became a free speech platform. YouTube was about you, me, making a channel. People no longer had to listen to their lies. So they think because people won't watch them on television anymore, they're gonna listen to them prattle on for hours at a time. But it's not because people don't like curated, professionally produced news media. It's that they don't like being lied to. So it doesn't matter if they're on the television, on CNN in their suits and their billion-dollar facilities, or in their bedroom. Oh, thanks for the Prime sub, Delta. They don't care if they're not inside their carefully curated and professionally presented news segment or on a podcast. People just don't like being lied to. They don't like being verifiably lied to, where they see something with their own two eyes. They saw, hey, the doses aren't stopping the spread, but then the television saying, unless you have a vaccine card, you cannot go to Burger King. Oh, thanks for the Prime sub again, Dole. It's not the fact that they're not on podcast. No one, if they won't listen to your 5-minute clip of you in a suit in a professionally produced news segment, they're not gonna watch you prattle on for 2 hours on a podcast because that's the new medium. If anything, your Don Lemons and your who's that other guy that got fired? He wears glasses. He's a white dude. Chat, I forget. But the idea is, thanks Delta for going from YouTube over to Twitch just to give me the Prime sub. I really appreciate that. It's free for you guys if you got Amazon Prime to go to twitch.tv/decoy and give me the $5 a month subscription. It costs you nothing if you're a Amazon Prime member, but it gives me something. Oh, thanks Chris Tenshell for gifting 5 subs to the community. Really appreciate that. It's not Anderson Cooper. It's the older white guy. Is it Brian Stelter? I'm thinking that. Maybe. Oh, thanks Tumsy for the Prime sub. I think it is him. But it's like, they're making all these podcasts, and Tim Pool actually called it out. But it's funny how they have a fundamental misunderstanding of their audience. It was like when The Daily Show was Jon Stewart, people watched because he was, back in the day, he was like making fun of the news media for being dumb. You had Trevor Noah being an idiot and thinking, oh, because Tim Pool wears a beanie and he's just like, on a more casual at home during the Cove, I'm gonna wear a hoodie in 100-degree weather and I'm gonna be more relatable. It's like, it's not because Tim wears a beanie, it's because he was telling people the truth. It's not because you're in a suit, Trevor Noah, that people don't listen to you anymore. It's because you're parroting us NPC talking points on the Democrat Party like a goddamn propaganda network. People didn't listen to you for that. Oh, thanks Aosabi for the sub. Oh, no, for the raid. Appreciate that. And also, Frosty Coolx for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. Was Alex Jones bought out by somebody? I don't know. I choose to believe what Alex Jones says because even though it sounds insanely psychopathic, he was talking about that island like a decade before we knew about it. He was talking about the, oh, thanks, Nick Papa Giorgio for the Prime sub. He was talking about the frogs changing their, going from males to females, I think it was. He was talking about I forgot what chemical it was in the pond. Talking about that beforehand, like, I believe everything he says, no matter how batshit insane Alex Jones says things, because I don't know, like, the wilder the accusation, I feel like the better the satisfaction of you being vindicated later on. It wasn't the water turning the frogs that way. It was Astrozine, I think that's what Astrozine. That's what it was, and it's like, I heard somebody talking about it more frequently, or not more recently, that it was what was it? It's female birth control, like the oral one, where they just take the pill. It's not like the thing they put in their arm. It's not the thing that they get inserted on them. It was like just the not AutoZone, but it was they're taking the pills and then they use the restroom or water treatment plants, take out all the regular stuff, but they're not taking they've never been designed to take out the hormone treatment all these girls on oral birth control are on. So then that gets in our water system, and then it's impacting things, and it's like, wait a minute, why is it that all of a sudden, like, what was it, the ratio of kids in, like, grade school that identified in the LGBT movement, or in the LGBT classification? It, like, for my parents, it was probably like 0.005%, and now it's something insane, like 50%. It's wild. It's been used for cloud seeding too, and that's the thing is Alex Jones talked about cloud seeding, but I think last summer, and here's me getting my tinfoil. I don't know what my tinfoil beanie is. That's garbage. I have my tinfoil beanie over here. I can't find it. They stole it. Government stole my tinfoil beanie. But we had the coldest summer ever, and it was almost overcast all the time. And I saw people in like my area on like Instagram posting, "You see these planes? They're doing the chemtrails, and all of a sudden we have a cloudy day. What's up with that?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think, yeah. Why would that country do this to me? I'm gonna go on my I'm gonna go on my Hassan arc. I won't pick that country, but you guys know what country I'm referencing to. But what country is out to get me? Chat, we gotta figure it out. The kick chat needs emotes. Okay, I just added emotes to Twitch. I didn't realize that other one had needed too, so I need to do that. What country? What country is after me? It can't be China, because that might be actually a country that goes after me. It's not that. I'm always going to blame a specific country. Is North Korea? It's North Korea, guys. I think you guys are right. It's North Korea. North Korea, guys. Obviously, North Korea. Kim Jong. No, because we can't joke about that. North Korea might actually come after me. Canada. Yeah, it's Canada. Yeah, Canada. Canada can't do anything. But what's in Canada? The moose. The moose. Yes, the moose in Canada, guys. It's always the moose. The moose. We just made some new decoy lore right now. The moose did it. The moose took my tinfoil beanie. I don't know where it is. I thought it was sitting there. But yeah, Canada come after me, man. North Korea will not come after me. You guys don't know that, man. DPR K-pop is better than K-pop. I want to know what that would sound like. Somalia. But the sad part is, how much terror have I personally funded with my tax dollars in Somalia? I want to know, because yeah, I'm saying it kind of like jokingly, but let's be serious for a moment. If you made $1 million over the last decade of your life, that's actually a stretch. I don't make $1 million over a decade. But if you made $1 million, right, and you paid 40% in taxes, let's include property tax, sales tax, all that. So like probably you gave the government $500,000. How much of that went to fraud? How much of that was in like remittances to Somalia that we know verifiably pay for terror in their organizations? How much? How much did I fund? Madagascar? Yes, they like. Yeah, you know what? It's Madagascar. We're going to blame that. Yeah, Nick Shirley is a menace to the scammers. They're pissed. That's why he needs to pay so much for security. So we're gonna talk about what Nick Shirley recently discovered over in California, because it's wild. I do use my old channel. Okay, so Decoy, aka Decoy Voice, that's your concise, lighthearted commentary. I still want to do that, but I kind of feel like the future would be live streaming, and then obviously I got in contact with got in contact with Twitch. Twitch has been helping me out, so we're figuring out how we can do Twitch content, and I can cover so many topics. Like, I think a big criticism of people talking about my YouTube channel is like, how come you didn't do this topic? How come you didn't do this topic? When it has been Golden Tim Pool can knock out 4 topics in a day, and I'm like, you know, the way I see it is, they would do like essentially live videos, record it in OBS, like Moist Critical. They can do a topic. They can do a 20-minute video in 20 minutes, essentially. And me, they're like a machine gun knocking out all the different topics. Me with Decoy Voice, it's like from the conceptualizing a topic to getting it out, it was getting to be like 6 hours. Like 6 to 8 minutes of content is 6 hours for me. So me trying to figure out how to do more content is in the live streams, and I do that. I feel like that's in the future, and I like the hangouts. Like we're chilling here, and it's like good to go back and forth, me and you. Like you guys talking about, this is casual and much better. It's supposed to be decaf. It's supposed to be the caffeine-free, the more chill version of Decoy Voice, but it's become the more spastic. I got a bat, I'm running around and stuff like that. Maybe we just need to chill. Maybe we need to sit. Maybe that's what gets me more decaf mode. Yeah, you said they also have stream for 8 hours and have staff that post videos for them. I understand that. I don't have a staff. I'm thinking maybe I'll get light skinned Decoy. I'll train him up again, and we'll have him do the stuff. We'll figure it out, because whenever I've tried to hire out, I'm a specific individual. Like, one thing I know as a regular boss in like an office job, or even when I was like managing security guards, I'm a particular guy. I feel like a lot of my workers really like working for me, and I was able to get them to follow me around throughout the city as I got promoted and worked different jobs. But I'm particular. Like, I'm very, very quick to, I'm very, very giving, and I do a lot for my people, but I also fire very quickly, and people are actually surprised at that. Like, I like my staff, we're buddies, we'd hang out outside the job, and also, like, after I don't work there, I still hang out with my old crew, and we have the group chat and everything, but I'd say people were surprised how fast I fire people because I just don't want to drag things on. You know, it's like a bad relationship. Get DEI decoy? Yes, exactly. He's light-skinned. He's light-skinned decoy. Chris Cuomo is a CNN host I was talking about. Let's see. No, it's not him, because he actually he's on like Newsmax or something. Who's the guy? CNN host that has podcast. It's not Don Lemon. Actually fired CNN host. Not Sanjay Gupta. Maybe it was MSNBC. It's not any of these guys here. There's a white guy with glasses. Let's see. Probably MSNBC. Not Joy Reid. Damn, there's so many fired CNN and MSNBC hosts that have their own show now. Oh my god, wait. News anchor that has podcast. My god, I can't even find out which one it is. There's so many of them. Was it Jake Tapper? Not Keith Olbermann, Anderson Cooper, Jake Tapper. Wait, what's that name I just saw right there? Not Brian Stelper, Jake Tapper. Let's see. Jake Tapper. It's like he's like a chubbier guy. Not him. Not Wolf Blitzer. Is it Brian Stelter? No, it's not him. He's not it's another disgrace. If you Google search the disgraced CNN host, it's got like a collage of people that are just people we don't know. Wait, Wolf Blitzer? He doesn't have a beard. Not Wolf Blitzer. It's a long fucking list. Now it's gonna bother me because I can't figure out what the heck. I can't figure out who this guy is. Maybe he was MSNBC. Maybe. My God, I can't even. It's too many of them. Jim Acosta. I think it was Jim Acosta. I think you're right. Thank you. I think a bunch of people, Cyotone and the real Axel said Jim Acosta. It's Jim Acosta. All these guys. But yeah, they all have their stupid shows and nobody watches them. Use ChatGPT. ChatGPT like 5.2. Like I remember 4.0, like not 4.0, but 4.0. It was decent. It would help me like brainstorm stuff. And I would say it really helped me kind of break through on how I presented things. I asked it, hey, why does decoy voice not have astronomical growth like Candace Owens or Brett Cooper? Analyze their channel and compare it to mine. ChatGPT 4.0 talked about why decoy voice videos starting with the clip and not my face was inherently different in audience building than Candace Owens and Brett Cooper. They would show their faces and it would be more of a chat with them, and it's like it definitely changed how I presented stuff. And the thing is though is there we go. 4.0 also created freaks falling in love with AI. It was very, very different. And then now if I ask ChatGPT 5.2, I think, or maybe 5.3 or whatever, I'll say, hey, here's some titling, here's some concepts I'm having. Don't use generic YouTube advice. Only give you the input that I gave you because we're like brainstorming, the decoy voice strategy. And then it just can't help but prattle off some random ass shit that it knows from Google about YouTube strategy. And it's like, no, this is like antiquated. This is like YouTube advice from like the before Mr. Beast, when every thumbnail was them with their mouth like this open. And it's like trying to tell me that bullshit. And it's like, no, ChatGPT is inherently broken now. I don't really like Grok. I've talked to my computer buddy and he said Grok has definitely fallen off. I know Joe Rogan keeps on plugging Perplexity. I haven't used that at all. But I'm definitely thinking about a new one. I'm thinking about that. Yes, interdicts BS. That's what it does. I'm trying to maybe think about because I'm not paying for bots. That's why I'm not growing. I'm realizing there's a huge bot problem everywhere. Like right now, we have 1,000 people, 600 on YouTube, which is the primary platform. You know, I'll be proud of my numbers being whatever they are because I know that they're real numbers. I need a big red circle and arrow in every thumbnail. I mean, you guys aren't wrong. Like decoy, red arrow, of all the thumbnails, 3 out of 4, 1 out of 3. This one I did when I was on vacation, so I had to use like my finger on an iPad to do this thumbnail. It was terrible, but I mean, big red arrow is in almost every thumbnail. And like big circle, it's really in everything. I mean, decoy has 1 million, but let's see, decaf is 83.6. Growth is kind of slowing down, which is fine, but let's see. The heck? Why is this? That's weird. I mean, big red arrow and circle in nearly every thumbnail. Maybe that's why I'm slowing down. This is before I use big red arrow, so maybe big red arrow is antiquated. Maybe we need to get off big red arrow, guys. Just focus on AI thumbnails. Honestly, I feel like maybe I should just... What's that AI thumbnail generator where you just get a picture of you and then you have AI made all the different emotions? Because honestly, half my time of making videos is just combing there and finding thumbnail reaction pictures, and they're never good. Maybe just let AI do it. Just stop fighting it and just lean into it, like this background music. Small blue arrow? I mean, maybe that's the thing. Big yellow arrow? Asmon yellow? That's what we're doing, man. You'll grow more once you add game to the catalog. Yeah, I'm probably gonna buy a PC, but does anybody know in chat before we get into the stuff what the difference between, let's do this computer and this computer. Still thinking about Starforge PCs, but honestly, making sure this doesn't dox me. Okay, we're good. Looking at Starforge PCs, there's like in the gaming PCs, there's Corp. There's Asmongold is no longer with Starforge, so I still like it, but I know it's not him anymore. But Starforge super reliable. Meta PC, I heard it's a little bit overpriced. I might be wrong. I just heard this from there. I cannot build one. I am not that smart. The Micro Center that I know, I gotta kind of travel over there to it. It doesn't have what I need. I need a streaming PC because I saw this one's core. It's $1,000, but this one doesn't have the. This has the Intel, but then this Voyager has AMD. Dr. Donut about Zydax, Bobby will. But like this AMD, $3,000. It's expensive. It's AMD Ryzen. I think Aosabi told me stay away from water cooled. Critical doesn't pitch it much, but he's still involved in Starforge. Well, maybe I don't want to buy it because Moist Critical's Moist Critical. You guys like the Ryzen? Everybody still says the 7800 X3D is the best. The Voyager was passable. So do I need like a professional PC because I'm streaming? Water cooled will destroy my system if it springs a leak. You'd fit in with Zydex, plus they'll fly you out to shoot machine guns? Okay. I'm listening. I'm listening. But if you can get an air cooler, if that's not going to eventually need water. Depends on what I want. Pretty nice streaming for streaming. I need a nice setup. Well, I mean, this, what is this? This is the Voyager. Do I need this Professional Explorer 2? This is 3,000. This is 31. But this comes with like a monitor and everything. I don't need that. Water coolers are good. Water coolers are bad. Ever considering having Joey Diaz on the pod? I've had nobody, just my friend, on there. No, I'm reading this chat. I see that chat. I see all of it. Hey, I'm doing all my editing. It's all me. Like, this whole channel is me top to bottom. Every time I brought somebody on, you know, they've meant well, but it's just I've not stuck with anybody. Killing it. See you later on. Nick found, okay, like, just to skip ahead, Nick found a dog voting in California. A dog registered to vote. Yeah. Bring back the baseball jerseys, no more burgundy. Honestly, I was just looking at my closet and looking at my videos. I'm like, okay, what have I been wearing? Here's red shirt, green shirt, red shirt, red jacket, green shirt, black jacket, blue shirt. So I was like, okay, it's been a while since I've read a burgundy shirt. I do like my baseball jerseys, but yeah. Toasty Bros, they build streaming computers. All right, I'll check it out. There's so many live streams. I mean, it's daily live streams. They're more kickback and chill. I kind of feel like the less I rely on like hot happening topics, the more of an audience I can build of us just hanging out. I have the Mac Studio right now. It is dead silent, but most of the video games I want to play need PC. Like even, what was it? Even like a game that shouldn't even be CPU intensive. It was it's like a Russian-made game, I think. Fear and Hunger. Just wanted to play it. There's all the buzz about it online, on YouTube. But I can't access it from this. I think as you say, dogs voting are better than Karens, but what if I told you it was Karens using their dog to vote? It got bad. Stardew Valley, haven't played that yet. RAM prices are sky high if you don't build your own, sadly. Yeah, I feel like they probably get a bulk deal from like Starforge or Micro Center or something. Yeah. I just want to play stuff on Steam. Because make it easy on me and then stream it, but you know. Yeah, $5,000 PCs. Are there $5,000 PCs? Yeah, I don't even think there is a $5,000. Well, the Voyager 3 Ultimate on Starforge is a $5,800 PC. Jesus. Okay, so it does get that expensive. I was unaware. The Ultimate ones? I mean, do I need one? Like, what would you say is, if, because it's a business expense, and you know, Decoy Voice and Decoy, they make good money. So if I was trying to build a PC that I don't want to update later, how much should I spend? Expedition 33 was the best game to watch streaming. I mean, I played Expedition 33 for hours. I've beaten it twice now because I didn't know what Pictos was. So I beat it on hard mode, figured it out. 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, Jesus. But if I had unlimited funds, because it's going to be a business expense, and I'm going to stream and game on it on stream all the time, how much did I spend? Between 3 to 5K, 3 to 4K. People saying that, because I already have this great super wide monitor I'm on. Like, this is how wide my monitor is I'm looking at. I've got my favorite editing Apple mouse. I got whatever this is. This is a cool mechanical keyboard. I got a lot of expensive stuff for this. Like this is a like a $700, $500 microphone, I think. And then the setup is like probably another couple $100. Yeah, I'm spending a lot of money. Costco has some good gaming PC deals, does it? Let's see. Costco gaming PC, because I have a Costco membership, and that's my thing right now. I know I'm probably eating the worst of stuff. Can't pull this up on screen because I think this is doxing my location. Costco, you can't get rid of that side. GeForce RTX. I don't know what this is. The most expensive computer they have over there is, it has the Ryzen. It has Windows. Is Windows 11 worse than Windows 2? I don't know. But yeah, no, maybe I'll roll over to Costco later today and pick out a PC. Because I've heard that if I get it from Starforge, it's going to take forever to get to me. Windows 11 is horrible, so Windows 2 is better? Windows 11's bloatware? Because I think this Voyager comes with Windows something. Windows, oh no, come I'm such an idiot. Because the font on Starforge PCs, tell me why this doesn't look like Windows 2 in Roman numerals. It says Windows 11. Yeah, it looks like Windows 2 to me, man. I'm sorry. It's Windows 11. God damn it, guys. 11's what I get no matter what. Okay, it says you ordered from Starforge not too long ago. It said 2 to 3 weeks, but you got it in 7 days. I'm down for that. Microsoft's having problems with Copilot AI integration. Yeah, I know from experience. I know someone that works and their employer keeps on plugging use Copilot for everything, and it's like, I know they're just trying to replace workers and trying to figure out how they can train the AI to do their job, but Copilot it's not it, man. It's not there. Oh, I love Windows XP. When I used to be at an office job, the first thing I would do when I got to a new workstation is transition the appearance to be essentially Windows XP so I can navigate faster. Windows V2. Yeah. Let's see. You can de-bloat Windows. I'm just gonna call it Windows 2 now. With Chris Titus's tool, it's not super advanced. I mean, I'm big on just being on Apple devices where you don't like jailbreak anything. You just use it as is. I mean, it's not the greatest thing, but stuff tends to not break. I feel like when I used to like overclock my old gateway PC, stuff would be dope for like a year, and then things would just be falling apart very soon. Windows 11's fine. People telling you not to use it are more technical understanding of what you can do. The normie use, there's no real difference for me. That's what I'm thinking, Darth Blam. I'm thinking, as long as I'm a filthy casual and I'm just using it for like Grand Theft Auto 5 mods, I'll be fine. Exactly. I love Apple. Apple's the best. Apple's just a super closed down Linux, by the way. Linux is the answer. I mean, but that seems complicated, guys. The video of Asman watching a review of his PC and the logo looking like something was funny. I don't know what that is. Today we're gonna go over Nick Shirley finding a dog voting in California, the insane amounts of people leaving California, the mall takeovers in the Bronx, AOC being the dumbest person known to Congress, and also possibly an OMG video if it comes out while we're streaming. I don't know. Actually, we can check. Because O'Keefe said it would come out, I think, 1 p.m. Pacific. I mean, it's Eastern. But you know what? It's coming. It's live right now. So I'm not trying to, like, watch his live stream and take views from him. We'll watch it if it's a video afterwards, a link to it. But we'll check it out if we got time. Because that'll probably be another long video as well. Yeah, OMG's live right now, so if you want to watch that, watch him. He does amazing stuff. O'Keefe Media Group is just a fun reminder that if you have a high-powered position anywhere where you have classified information of any sort, and online dating, you match with somebody way out of your league, and she's way hotter than you, and also she's very interested in your job, she's not a love interest, a potential love interest. It's James O'Keefe. Don't believe it, man. Yeah, Trump is always picking on countries below the equator like Venezuela. That is what AOC said. We're gonna do not a deep dive, but we're gonna cover all the fun things AOC said about Venezuela, despite not knowing anything about it. See, man, he's prattling off 9800 X3D RX 9070, 64 gigabytes with DDR5. Decent timings, TB or 2 TB Samsung 9010 or 9100 Pro. You might as well be speaking Mandarin to me because I don't understand a thing you just said right there. I'm sure it's great advice, but I need somebody like Asmongold or Donut Operator to come to me and say, Decoy, because what you're doing, you need this, and I'll trust it, and I'll give them thousands of my dollars. James O'Keefe showing up like Roger from American Dad? He is. That is what it is. There you go. Yeah, you buy every PlayStation. I mean, I buy every Nintendo product. I think I've had a Nintendo 64. Super Nintendo was before me. I couldn't, we wasn't buying games back then. Nintendo 64, GameCube, none of the handhelds, but like the Switch, Nintendo Wii U, which was the same thing. The Switch 2. I buy everything. Casual. Yeah, Donut is a cool dude. He's like very approachable and nice. It's cool to see guys that are like what I imagine is a multi-millionaire, but he's still just a regular guy. It's cool. Did you have the Pikachu N64? I was recording things on my computer with the Hey You Pikachu mic. That's how old I am. No Virtual Boy before my time. You gotta give Skyrim another shot on stream. Your AI beats always remind you of the theme songs. Okay, I mean, I gotta give, because I love GTA 5. I loved... What's that game about being in Shanghai, I think? Or Hong Kong? No, you're about being in Hong Kong. Sleeping Dogs. Love that game. But, I could never get into Red Dead Redemption. So, I got it on my Switch. I meant to play it on the airplane, but, just haven't got around to it. Are you liberal, hive man? Yeah. Yeah, Sleeping Dogs was probably the best game. Didn't get into the Batman games, which is the same gameplay, but Sleeping Dogs, I feel like I was playing an autobiography. Play Pirate Yakuza? Is that a game? Let's see. Pirate Yakuza. That is a game. What? Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I mean, I might as well try it, right? If it's getting decent ratings. Wait, it came out in February 21. Oh, so a year ago. Yeah. Is Sleeping Dogs capped at 30 frames per second on PS5? I don't even know. I couldn't tell you the difference between like a 15, 30, or 60 frame per second game. I know that, like, you know, when buying the Starforge PC, it's big on what it can perform, Wukong game, but honestly, I don't care, man. Don't we see in 30 frames per second? Why would 60 even be a thing for us? Yeah. Your rank 550 on GTA Online with 525 mil in the bank. I was playing on PlayStation 4, I think. Randomly, somebody was like a Godzilla character in the game, like a hacker, gave me a bunch of money, and then later on, I think they detected the hack, and it wasn't even me. It just the hacker gave me money in the lobby, and then later on, they just drained all my funds. So all the money I made from actual like DLC packages or missions I did, they stole all my money. So I was like, you know what, GTA Online, F it, it's too broken. Eyes don't, but your brain does. That makes sense then. Difference between 30 and 60 is pretty huge when you get used to 60. All I know is this monitor is set to be 120 or something like that because it's better on your eyes. But no matter what, my eyes are still going. I'm on screens too much. Yeah, GTA Online first came out and everybody was using a bug to make billions. Exactly. 30 looks like slow-mo to you? I mean, it probably does. We've been streaming for long enough. I think we're pretty much capped out at what we're capped out because discoverability on this channel is what it is. So, I mean, if you can, I think you pushing the like button does help. Looks like we're at a solid 83,000 subscribers, which is cool. I think hitting 100 over here will be good. Hitting the like button on this and subscribing if you haven't already will help up the channel as we move forward. I do like Silent Hill playable trailer. That was a good game for me. But what we got to talk about today is Nick Shirley discovering that a dog successfully registered to vote in California, and they're still going against voter ID. So we're going to talk about Newsom's reaction to this, but this is a major issue. So over on YouTube, you have Nick Shirley's video, only 300,000 views, but I think this is going to blow up like his other video. I'll like it too. But already it has the label, you know, voting by mail, or how good it is. So let's go ahead and watch this video because it's gonna be crazy.
We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here. John Thomas and Philip Thomas. Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election from here.
Can you see my
yeah, why wasn't there something to detect how a 100-year-old was able to vote? Not saying centurions? Not centaurs. That's the horse thing. Centurions, I think. Whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever it is. How come nobody was checking in on this?
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
And
So a 126-year-old voted. We got issues, guys.
you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Do you know where the ballots might have gone?
like for 108 people, you know, that were registered here.
When it comes to fraud,
And I'll tell you right now, living in Los Angeles in an apartment complex, not the poorest one, but not the greatest one, you would see mail-in ballot. Like whenever you'd get a letter in the mail that wasn't yours, and it happened a lot, you know, post office guy's lazy, he's just throwing shit everywhere. You would just take the mail that doesn't belong to you and you'd put it in the lobby for the person to pick up. Stuff was probably getting stolen all the time, but you would see mail-in ballots sitting on the counter because they got stuff that didn't belong to them. It happens a lot.
most people think about money. However, there's another potential massive fraud story taking place in America, one tied to the most consequential system in our country, which is our voting system. This has to do with everything.
Yeah, that's why that probably 99.9% of, actually all first world nations except for the US need voter ID, in-person voting, in-person voting, and they count it within hours. None of this, we have 7 weeks to count the vote over here.
About who runs the country and how elections are actually controlled. And if we don't have voter integrity, what even are we? And there's one state that is the breeding ground for potential voting fraud, and that is California, where it can take up to 1 month to count all of the votes.
1 month. What nonsense is that? And the thing that upsets me the most is where I lived in LA. As soon as about the voting booths closed, they already called it for Kamala. It was no, not Kamala. They already called it for Biden as soon as the booths closed. But then days after the election was over, they were still collecting boatloads of ballots from these drop-off boxes around where I lived. And I was like, wait, how do they know he won? I'm certain there's like mathematical probabilities, but honestly, it didn't seem to care.
Voter ID and millions of ballots are cast by mail. And with voter rolls that are extremely vulnerable to errors, such as over 200 people who are over the age of 125 years old.
And I think somebody in chat said the oldest person ever was 122 years old. So we have people breaking rules, or not rules, people breaking records in massive amounts in California. Either we have the fountain of youth here, or we have voter fraud. Either way should spark an investigation. If we can live to 126 in California, I want to know. If there's voter fraud in California, I want to know. But for some reason, both of those will get you banned a couple years ago.
Register to vote in certain areas. And now to see how easy it is to vote, I headed to the location to register to vote inside the state of California. Now this is the register of voters right here. And I want to ask him, why don't you need voter ID to vote here inside of California? I was curious.
Yeah, why is it illegal to ask for your ID to vote in California? That should be the bigger issue.
How come in California you don't need voter ID to vote?
Because when you sign your affidavit, you're swearing that you're telling us the truth.
Exactly. You're promising you're not lying. But also, there doesn't seem to be a system to catch if you're lying. So if a criminal's willing to break the law, why would if they're willing to commit a felony by voting when they're not allowed to, why would their criminality stop at signing that they're not breaking the law?
Compare the signature that you put on your application to the
battery 65%.
Do you think it leaves any room for error with voter ID, or? Yeah, I'm just like curious because
she knows what she's saying is a lie, but she'd rather toe party lines than actually be objective about anything. This is scary that these are the professionals in charge of the leader of the free world's elections.
I want to make sure that like our elections are as fair and honest as possible, and I feel like voter ID is just something super simple to have. And do you think it's possible like illegal migrants could be voting?
Not really. How?
You just told us how. They signed and promised that they were allowed to vote. Of course they wouldn't lie to me. Again, this is just plain dumb. Nobody is this naive into adulthood.
I mean, what was showing the ID?
Yeah, if they don't have their ID and they could just sign on behalf of Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
Then they could technically vote, right?
What? This is like somebody just discovering a lie for the first time. Like, no. I wouldn't claim I'm a famous Seattle Seahawks cornerback with dreadlocks as a white guy. No, nobody would ever do that. Like, I honestly wonder, Nick should have just said, hey, what would stop you from me coming in, voting, signing this thing, coming in with a mustache, signing it, coming in with a beard, signing it. Like, oh, thanks for the Prime sub. But nothing stops me from coming in here repeatedly or coming in here with a boatload of ballots. And you're trying to say, well, it wouldn't happen because we live in an honest society. It would be lying.
Yeah, but what if they just don't care?
I wonder if you put the shoe on the other foot, if you said Trump won this district by 100,000 votes. Do you think that MAGA supporters would lie and they would cheat in elections? Because I'm sure if you swapped it around and say, hey, Trump was winning this area, she'd be like, oh my God, of course they are. Of course they would lie. They're evil, angry individuals.
What if like Richard Sherman and Billy Bob Joe just don't care?
And they are prosecuted in large amounts.
But so you don't think illegals would ever vote, would you?
I don't think so.
No.
And she hands him, is that a ballot that he just got? It's like, I don't think anybody would be voting if they doesn't belong here. Obviously, Nick Shirley's somebody that's from, wait, where is he from? He's not from California. Is he from Minneapolis? Where's his hometown from? But him getting a mail-in ballot for California would be hilarious. Not because he would fill it out and actually do it, but the idea that they just hand it out. Is he from Utah? That would kind of make sense. Because he is a Mormon, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Showing your ID, you sign your signature, and then it is scanned to verify it is you. So technically speaking, anyone could show up saying they are someone, and if the signature is similar, that vote will then count. And with millions of people voting, it leaves room for fraud to occur. Just take these two examples.
A Southern California woman is facing 5 felonies after registering her dog to vote in 2 elections. The dog's vote was even counted in one of those elections. Those behind the stunt say she did it to show the flaws of the current system.
That's like that guy that snuck in a sharp object onto an airplane to expose TSA for a flaw that he knew they had. Nobody's really celebrating if you're successful and you expose a flaw in the system. You might be doing some pretty heavy jail time if they catch you, which they did.
The people who cast votes according to state records, but we found they've been dead for years, including a woman who died in 1988, and records show she somehow voted in 2014, 26 years after she passed away.
We got a problem, guys. This is that Big Short moment. We got a bubble. There's a bubble. Sell, there's a problem.
Then there's Julita Abutin. Records show she voted in Norwalk in 2014, 2012, 2010, and 2008. The only problem is she's buried here at Forest Lawn. Abutin died in 2006. Is it possible your mother voted in 2014?
There's no way.
Abutin's daughter Maravik says it's certainly impossible that her mother voted, but the LA County Registrar confirms they have signed vote-by-mail envelopes with her mother's name for the 2014 and 2012 election.
You got to figure out who mailed in that ballot. Who is that at that address? If it's the daughter, investigate that. If it's someone that moved in the home that she used to be in, or it's like an old people home, investigate that. Somebody's got to go to jail over this. Unfortunately, since they have no, there's no watermark ballots, there's no chain of custody, there's nothing to show who cast that ballot, they probably won't be able to jail anybody.
Even though she died 10 years ago.
So it's not some crazy conspiracy theory to think that people are illegally voting inside the state of California.
It's like, here's all the mainstream media outlets of them reporting on this. Here's Alphabet's Bipartisan Policy Center putting this warning thing. I think they called it nudges. I forgot who was saying it. It's like a brainwashing program to have nudges on social media fact checkers or whatever, just to say, hey, here's a guy making a claim. You can see it for yourself. We're using the same resources that they used to endorse themselves. But here's why the Bipartisan Policy Center said mail ballots submitted by voters who meet eligibility and validity requirements are counted in every election. So what are the validity requirements? It's not ID. It's not even validating that you're still alive. But then they say before they're counted, election officials will vigorously verify the validity of every mail-in ballot submission. Well, obviously they didn't catch this dead woman voting for decades. Well, obviously they didn't see if these people are citizens. Like, all these words make you... They use the word validity how many times? Twice. I guess vigorously verify validity just makes me see it a lot, but... These zombie voters are voting, but they want to nudge you back to say, hey, he's trying to get you to question stuff. But here's why he's wrong.
And with the state receiving millions of illegal migrants, the opportunities for fraud now are even higher as millions of undocumented people are living inside of the state. Now let's go meet up with a man by the name of Urson who has dedicated years of his life digging through voter rolls, finding fraud and inconsistencies.
And big W's to Urson, because here's the thing. He's been doing this for a long time, but now that Nick Shirley has a huge platform, which he has 1.69 million subscribers, he's giving attention to who was the guy in his last video over in Minneapolis. That was just a guy that's been looking into this for a long time. Nick uses his platform to give attention to it and becomes the biggest viral video on social media. Nick, like many social media like influencers or content creators, could follow up his Somali fraud video in Minneapolis with another fraud video in California. But no, he's switching it up. He's finding things that are pertinent to Americans. And I strongly believe Nick Shirley is the most important journalist of the year, if not for his generation. Because it's going to change things, to change the way that people see journalism and investigate things
throughout the state.
So how bad is the voter fraud here in California?
Well, we actually don't know because law enforcement isn't really investigating it, and we don't have people qualified to actually figure that out.
And what kind of fraud is taking place?
Well, we have voter rolls of about 22 to 23 million people.
There you go. See, I was like, is he really giving information? Not actual voter roll. It's not allowed to show publicly. So this is just lorem ipsum. They just made this up.
In California. And we have, just in Orange County, per se, there's 60 to 70,000 changes a month that happens. So the amount of time and effort to go and follow up with every one of those, we just don't have the resources to do that.
And so what information have you been collecting about the voting fraud here in California?
We have people that are still in our rolls from 2008 that are still getting ballots mailed to them that haven't voted in 18, 16 years.
And so if they haven't voted, what's the problem with them receiving those ballots?
Well, sometimes there's votes that happen later on with someone that hasn't lived here for 12 years. And we found several occurrences of that. When we turn that in, those are treated as independent incidences that don't affect the outcome of the election. So they're highly disregarded.
Exactly. When they say there's no fraud in voting. Okay, there's a little fraud in voting, but it's not enough to impact the election. Okay, there's a lot of it, but you know what? Here's why it's a good thing.
From our concerns as voters.
And what information do we have right here?
Well, we got several different pieces that we're looking at today. One thing that's just a simple anomaly for people to understand is there's people that show to be 125 years old in our voter rolls. And that's simple
data. How many of that was? I gotta see that again.
Show to be 125.
Number of people born in 1989, 100 of them. People born in 1900 being 200 of them. We have an issue, guys.
5 years old in our voter rolls. And that's a simple data flaw, but the issue is it keeps happening over and over again to the tune of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds in every county.
If it's a data flaw that keeps on occurring over and over, I feel like it's not a flaw. It's by design.
Large size like where we're at today. Another one is we have a lot of voters that are at central locations, 10, 12, 15 people at a place where what is this business? What is it doing? These people are still going to continue to get ballots. Another one is like a lot of the sororities and the dorm houses, you know, where we have typical turnout, you know, or voter turnout is like in the 50 to 70% range, but it's like 106 out of 108 votes cast.
Because ballot harvesting in California is allowed. I think it should not be, because misinformed voters or low information voters shouldn't cast a ballot. It shouldn't be easier to vote for the president than it is to vote for your favorite American Idol. And when they harvest ballots, they say, hey, just sign this thing. We're collecting it. Here's $50. I think that should be punishable by jail.
So it doesn't mean that that's fraud, but it means These are out of the normal order of what happens, and so that's what we're going to be going.
A statistical anomaly, the same thing they said during the Biden and Trump election, where they said, how could nobody win any, I think it was like the Bellwether or Fairweather, whatever. That's Fairweather's a protein snack. Bellwether counties, how could he not win any of them and still win the election? It's a statistical anomaly. How do they win in only these certain areas that have lots of ballot harvesting, have insane amounts of voter turnout? He's only winning these small key areas that took forever to count their ballots, but that gave him the margins to win. Interesting. Bellwether, thank you.
Around and looking at today, and
yeah, it doesn't mean it's fraud. It just means it's a red flag. We should look more into it, not have social media nudges saying you can't do it, not having, I'm skipping ahead, but people like DC Drano getting banned on social media for calling it out. We have issues. I just want to clarify it. It may not be a thing. It may just be in our heads. But the idea that you say you cannot look into it, you get banned on social media, Nick Shirley gets threats online if he looks into it, that makes me think you are hiding something.
Seeing what's out there and what we can find. We have a system where you can register to vote in California without a driver's license number or social security number. Yes. Why do we allow that?
Yes.
That creates 9.6 million records that then the state has to send to the Social Security Administration. And when 75% of those come back with no matching Social Security record, it should make every California wonder, why do we have a system like that?
And it disenfranchises voters. They keep on talking about the SAVE Act is going to make certain populations not want to vote. I keep on seeing there possibly bots, there possibly Democrats anonymous online, but people saying, I don't trust the system, so I'm not going to go cast a ballot. It's like, no, don't do that. Because one, it's illegal to suggest that. But two, we should have faith that our votes are being counted and they matter. When they say, hey, there was 9 million registered people that we don't know if they're valid or not, that disenfranchises people. Let's make us more confident in the system by looking into it, not by saying the solution by requiring ID, that's racist, so we can't have it.
Why do we have a system that's creating work and uncertainty?
And so what have you done to get this information about the voter fraud that's taking place here in California?
Well, we get our information from the Secretary of State. We get it directly from them. It's a lot of information and it's very complex. And so we get this from the state, we package it up, and we help with our other researchers across the state that go and break it down into their own counties.
So we have all this information, and now we're going to go head out into the streets of California and see what fraud we can find. Where's the first
future
place
of journalism right here?
We're going to the local retirement community, and the reason this one is just kind of particularly odd, you got 45 people registered, and 41 of them actually turned out to vote in the last election.
And that's not statistically
That's just, again, not typical for 55 to 70% turnout. So it's a mental crisis senior rehabilitation center. So we're just going to go there and see, is there 45 people there? Is there beds? And check it out. Can we speak to the supervisor?
Hello, how are you?
And here's the thing, blurring out their faces, I think, is a good call. And if there are the people there, like they keep on saying, Nick was kicking down doors and demanding to see the kids. It's like, no, he was showing up to these locations, not trying to dox anybody, just saying, hey, it says that you guys got like $10 million to take care of 30 kids. We don't see a playground. We don't see anybody in the parking lots. Where are the kids? It was just incidentally asked for that. But again, they'll try to flip it around and say, oh, he's out there to cause danger to these employees. It's like, no, I think he has good intentions in these investigations. It's about making us feel more confident in our voting system, not attacking some regular worker.
Yeah, it looks like there was maybe 41 of 45 people that are registered here. Does that seem low or high to you? Like as far as how many patients or residents you have?
That's probably not accurate anymore.
So that lady right there said that that's probably not accurate.
Right.
So this could be a huge location where hundreds of votes could be.
And our justice system should be looking into this, and those whoever cast those ballots should be in jail if it was fraudulently. But this thing just slipped through the cracks unless you had a YouTube journalist, Nick Shirley, interviewing this guy that's been looking into it. Nobody would have known about it. This is the future of journalism, and also probably the future of what our justice system needs to look into, because I'll say it like the what is it? The R. Kelly situation. There was one cold case murder. I think that there was a thing where it's like, it's sad, but Sometimes there's crimes that we know about in daylight, we almost just like joke about them, and until somebody makes some Netflix documentary about it, only then do they face the consequences for their actions. This is the same thing. It's sad that we live in a reality TV-esque life, or a reality TV-esque world, but it's where we are right now.
Casted from this one location. She said that numbers sound like they're inaccurate, 41 out of 45.
Correct. So is there a lot more people that could be registered to vote and could be having their voices expressed?
Well, let's move on to the next location.
You got it.
Now we're here in the University of San Diego because they got lots of voters here, but
beautiful campus.
What's the deal with this location?
It's some sort of institute for peace and justice, so it doesn't seem like you'd have a lot of voters like registered at some sort of an administrative
Who would have thought it?
office, but it very well could be. You know, I mean, there's students that are all over the place here, so maybe it's some sort of a central mailing house or something like that.
You have a conference room, you have Garden of the Sky, the Kroc School, classrooms, conference rooms, anything but dorms. And this is the location where 58 people are registered to vote here inside of the state of California.
Is this like a central mailing location, like this building for students and stuff?
No, this one is not. So we do have a mail center.
Because right here on the John B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice, it says we had 58
That's almost
registered
like
to vote.
Somebody Google searched, oh, we're going to register a whole bunch of people to vote at UC San Diego, getting the dean's office, the first address that pops up and says it's there, because if you were there, you couldn't get your mail. Like if you were in the dorms or you went to the school, you couldn't pick up your mail-in ballot at the dean's office unless there was some activist organization that was going to collect it on your behalf.
And 50 people voted from this location.
So it's 5998 Alcala Park. You're saying
is the entire university.
Is the entire university. So where do the ballots go?
I have no clue.
Okay.
I've
Interesting.
never seen them.
So far, we're 0 for 2 as far as getting any clarity about where these votes are being
I don't think you're 0 for 2 for finding clarity. I think you're 2 for 2 from finding potential fraud.
cast from here.
Yeah, or any sort of real clarity.
And at these locations, when there's only around 40 to 50 people registered to vote, in locations where there's hundreds and thousands of people, it leaves lots of room for speculations, especially when nobody actually knows what the real count is and where the votes are being casted from. And just a reminder, all this information from Urson is the most up-to-date information from the Secretary of State of California as far as the voter rolls go.
The fraud continues. Now we're outside of a extra space, a storage unit location. Here, 5 people are registered to vote.
Correct.
Did they cast their vote?
And again, you can't get mail there. It's illegal to stay in these storage containers. So this should have red flag right off the get-go. If you can't get mail at your storage container, how can you register to vote there?
3 of them did in the 24 election. Then we had 1 that cast a ballot in the 2020 election and 1 that's never voted. The point is that unless this is a primary residence, right, or where you can sleep,
can't stay there,
right, which no one's supposed to by law allowed to sleep in their public storage unit, then this is not a legal registration. And these are the things that the county continues to let slip through the cracks.
Let's see if they're here. We have the names of all 5 people. Let's see if they're here. How's it going, sir?
How are you doing today?
Good. We're just looking for a few people here. We have Lily Morey, Philip Thomas, Sydney Thomas, Robert Thomas. We're just looking for these individuals as they're registered to vote here.
Did you have people that live here at Extra Space?
They got the spreadsheet from the voter rules.
Robert Thomas?
Oh, okay.
But he wouldn't know that. Like, I mean, obviously,
so
he's just
can you
helping.
just
He's just a front desk guy helping you get a storage container for your stuff. Like, he's obviously not gonna know, but he's proving his point. But I don't know. He's shaking down the wrong guy.
From the Secretary of State.
Yeah, it's publicly available information.
What about Robert, Sydney, Philip, and Lily Thomas? What about them? Do they also get their ballots here? Robert Thomas, Sydney Thomas, John Thomas, and Philip Thomas. Do you know where any of those individuals are? Any of the Thomases?
No, they're not here right now.
There's no one living in storage facilities, right?
Yeah, just
That's
confirm
not a
that.
good question, right? Just wondering if people are actually living in storage facilities or not.
So 5 people are registered to vote here. They confirmed that nobody lives here. A little fishy. California's got some weird things going on. So 5 people, and they didn't know where any of the Thomases were, but this is their primary location.
Well, if those 2 people actually live here and this is where they stay, their primary residence, right? They get their driver's license here, their tax stuff comes here. It's completely legal. But the other people that are here that they didn't know or do know or so forth, right? Are they someone that was just getting something in a storage facility? So.
But this is a storage facility. There's no apartments here.
No.
Nobody's living here.
Not inside the storage facility.
Should have been flagged. There should be a system to say, does this address exist when you register to vote? But again, it's just all on the honor system, which is a huge problem.
But if the couple that we spoke to is actually, this is their primary residence, that would be legal under state law.
But for these 5 people that are registered and that cast their votes,
and if it's not them, then no, those are not legal.
those are illegal votes. And so that right there is 5 potentially fraudulent votes in one location inside of a storage unit.
This is super important to understand before we go to the next location.
And the thing is, okay, he found 5 here. He found a handful over at SD or UCSD. He found a couple over at the old people. But the problem isn't that, hey, 5 votes aren't going to sway an election, but it highlights there's no system to catch the bad votes. That's the problem here.
California, when you register to vote, you must be your domicile location, which is your primary residency. You can then put a different address to receive your mail, but for it to be on the voter registration form and for the voter rolls, it must be your domicile address, your primary address. Now we're going to start going to some of these locations where people have put their primary addresses as P.O. boxes. In locations like the one we're about to go to, over 30 people are registered to vote at this one UPS store.
With this fraud, a lot of these people registered to vote have their primary residency at a UPS store or...
And here's the thing. I could see somebody saying, like, you get confused when you're filling out the thing. Where's your primary domicile? Where is your mailing address? And it's like they're filling stuff out. They're like, okay, well, I only trust my mail to come to the UPS store or whatever it may be. Like, I didn't have that. But I did not trust any mail to go to my LA apartment. Any of my LA apartments just have very, very unsecured apartment mailboxes. Maybe they messed it up and they put in their primary domicile address and their mailing address. They swapped it. But if you're too stupid to figure out how to fill out a form like that, I also think you're too stupid to correctly fill out which presidential candidate you want to vote for. There's definitely an intelligence situation here that I think we need to filter out people that don't know how to say, I don't live at the UPS store.
United States Postal Service location. Right here we have over 30 people who are registered to vote, and all these people right here, there's over 30 of them, are registered to vote, and this is their location, and a large majority of them actually voted in the 2024 election.
That's a major
against
issue.
Trump and Joe Biden. And right here we have Gloria. Gloria voted in the last election. She's 100 years old.
Yeah. Born
So
in
this is both. This is both issues. He's 100 years old and also doesn't live in a UPS mailbox. The Bipartisan Policy Center said they need to meet eligibility and validity requirements, and they vigorously verify if she is a 126-year-old that lives in a tiny UPS store mailbox. Looks like the system's working, guys.
1925. Still kicking.
What do you think about over 30 people are registered to vote in this UPS store right here? Is that a little strange to you?
Is it through P.O. boxes?
Yeah.
I don't know. What
Again,
are you
gotta
trying to
tell
do,
the
or what
party
are you trying
line,
to
I think.
prove?
Yeah, so
So you have to re-register where you live, right? Where your primary residence is. And so if you've got a primary residence that's a UPS store, there's a real tiny houses, inside the UPS
I
store.
thought a P.O. box was a post office box, so that can only be with U.S. Postal Service. That's why you can get certain things at a U.S. Postal box and not the UPS store. I'm possibly mistaken.
People to live in.
Probably. What's your guys' affiliation?
my name is
Again, there it is. If he's with Fox, she's probably going to be against him. If he was with CNN, if he was with the Democrat Alliance for voter security, she'd probably be more in line to say, oh no, that is right. I am concerned because people don't want to live in logic and ethics. They want to live in their party lines. So they say, hey, I don't want to be caught on recording agreeing with MAGA conservatives, but I would love to be caught on recording agreeing with AOC's political campaign party. Yeah, P.O. box is a post office box. Yep.
Yeah.
Could you live inside a P.O. box?
No.
So do you think it's a little strange that here in California
Yes.
you have lots of people who are registered to vote from these P.O. boxes? Meanwhile, you don't even have to show your ID when you go and vote.
I don't want to be part of the whole MAGA storyline.
Called it. called it. She knows it's strange. She knows it's strange, doesn't like what's happening, but she's more concerned of saying, oh, this is the MAGA narrative. She gets the logic first, understands the logic, agrees with it, but thinks, oh no, I'm going to be affiliated with MAGAs, and that's going to make me the bad guy. Again, cares more about party lines than finding valid votes.
Meanwhile, you don't even have to show your ID when you go and vote.
I don't want to be part of the whole MAGA storyline. Thank you.
This isn't a MAGA storyline, man. This is just the straight up facts. Now we're going in.
There you go.
How are you guys doing? Yeah.
You're not allowed to be here. Can you step outside?
Could we talk to somebody?
No. Can you step
This is super important.
Yeah, can you step outside?
I get where he's coming from, but I also get where she's coming from. She's at a job. Some journalist comes in there. I can see like, hey, okay, I'm not dealing with this. Like, I got 80 boxes back here. I'm doing my job. I got a concert to go to. Like, I'm trying to get out of here. I don't got time for a non-customer. I understand this. I don't blame her for kicking Nick out.
To do with our elections here, ma'am.
Okay, outside.
Can someone come and talk to us?
Is Gloria here by chance? Because she's 100 years old and she voted last election.
I get
from here.
I get it.
All right, so they won't even speak to us. Do you know Gloria? She's 100 years old. She voted last election here. She's supposed to live in one of these
This guy
PO
doesn't know
boxes.
either, man. He's doing a return.
I have no idea.
A little strange, right? Sir, have you ever met like a Gloria or anything? She's supposed to live in one of these PO boxes. She voted. No. Don't know.
Oh, you're right. You know what Boomer says? The lady went in ahead and warned the workers. I get it. Okay, so that she doesn't want to deal with it because she knows an expose, but also I can see the guy doing his return, the worker doing something, not being involved with it. The same way I don't like it when an activist will stop people on the freeway, on the road, saying we're marching for anti-ICE things. It's like, hey, people trying to live their lives, go to work. I get that. If they're willing to talk to him, that's great, but also don't force it. And I do like the idea that Nick tried to talk to him, but didn't say, no, this is more important. Saving democracy and my political affiliation is more important than you doing your job. He politely asked, she told him to leave, didn't even really walk in, was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's still proving his points, but also not forcing his narrative, his timeline on other people.
Concerning about all this fraud taking place is right now the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is also leading the way on Polymarket as to who's going to be the Democrat nominee in 2028. What do you think it says about states that don't require people to have voter ID?
It's like inconsistent, so people can kind of like tweak it however they want. So I don't know. I don't trust it. That's why.
Should states require people to show voter ID when they go and vote?
100%.
Why does this look like if you were playing in Street Fighter and you both chose Ken, that they just changed the colors and maybe the hair a little bit, and it's the same thing?
Like I think like people should be verified that that's them voting and that's like them as a person. Like that needs to be like a face-to-face action. If they can't, there needs to be another way of verification.
And what makes you think that way? A lot of people don't think that way about voter ID.
I don't know. I think it's just like a common sense thing. Like it should be you that's voting and like your vote that's going through. So it's not just like anybody.
Do you think people would pass you off for Ralph Salcido if you just said you're Ralph Salcido?
No. Like if I said that to me, they'd be like, really? If I walked up and like I said, oh yeah.
But that lady in the very beginning of the video, if he cast his ballot, she couldn't say no to it. And even if she referred it to the where we're supposed to catch those bad ballots, there's nothing to catch it. So sad to say, the honor system doesn't work here.
I'm 100 years old. I'll be like, what? You can't like fake age. So
this building here in downtown San Diego, there's over 16 people who are registered to vote at this address.
This is an issue
right here. And would it surprise you if inside of this building alone, there's 15 people registered to vote, yet all the windows are boarded up?
Oh, one of the business was Ducats, and I never saw anybody go in or out of there.
15 people are registered to vote, and a lot of them voted in the 2024 election.
Doesn't surprise me. This is California for a reason.
Do you think voter fraud takes place here in California?
100%.
No, I'm not trying to block anybody. What the heck? That was weird, that button. But no, it's like he goes to California. Even the locals know. I don't think this guy's homeless, but just any random guy knows it's California.
And do you trust Gavin Newsom?
No, not at all. You could tell by the way he talks. He never wants to answer a real question. Let's see, he calls ICE, basically calls them out, calls them terrorists. In some ways, I kind of hope he runs for president. That means someone else is going to get governor, and if he doesn't make it as president, his political career is done.
Well, he's not going to get governor because he's termed out. He's not going to run anymore. But honestly, that's the thing. Is I'm not going to argue with a guy that doesn't know all the political stuff I do because I just watch it all day, all night, as a job. So it's like regular people don't know, but it's funny. Regular people don't know what's going on with his terms, but they know he's a scumbag.
I don't see him winning. I really don't.
No.
Right now in Polymarket, he's leading for the Democrats as far as
He could win if all these 126-year-olds that live in that abandoned building vote for him. That's the win conditions I think he has.
who's going to be the next nominee.
Yeah, Kamala was leading. Look how that went.
Do you think California should require voter ID?
Do I think that voters should require voter ID?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Why?
How come you need an ID when you go to the airport?
I don't know why you got to do that either.
So do you think
Again, there was a logic. There was some moments of he was thinking why, all the reasons, but he's like, you know what? Toe the party lines. That's more important.
it's possible to have fair elections here in the United States if people don't prove who they actually are by giving their ID when they go and vote?
That's too. I can't even answer that. Because I'm like this. If you here, you can vote. It's just too much paperwork.
Too much paperwork.
Yeah, too much bureaucracy.
Oh yeah, too much bureaucracy. Apparently, that's a problem. It's more important for him to make voting easier, voting for president easier than voting for American Idol, than it is to have safe and secure elections.
Too much stuff. It's just too much.
So when you go vote, you don't want to show your ID?
Nah. Heck nah. For what?
To prove that you are you.
I mean, I'm me anyway. I'm me anyway.
So no ID.
Nick should have said, okay, how would you feel if I went to the voting booth before you and I voted on your behalf and they didn't check for ID? That's the question he should have asked.
Nah. Mm-mm.
What if I wanted to vote on behalf of your name?
On his toes, man. That's why he's the most important journalist in this generation, I think. Good on him.
Why would you want to do that? Tell me why I want to do that, and then I can make a decision.
What if I wanted you to vote Democrat and you're a Republican?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, yeah, that's a point.
There's no way this guy was that naive that in his adult life, the first time someone thought of the word lying or the word fraud was this interaction he had on the street today. No, this is willful ignorance, towing party lines. Yeah, Unk is being a goober. Yep.
But I still ain't approving of it.
He doesn't care.
We
He doesn't
headed
care.
to the next
I mean,
location.
good on him for being who he is. He's like Popeye. I am what I am. Whatever.
And it was the exact same thing where tons of people were registered to receive votes from a P.O. box. So we were wondering, do these people live here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Nobody lives
Are they
there.
living inside the post office?
This is the address of the post office, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like their mailing address. That's like their actual like registration address. Do you see ballots that have like P.O. box on them and things?
Yeah.
And it's not a problem if someone is registered here to receive their ballot, but if this is their primary residence,
Yep.
that is a problem.
That
And
little
that's
box.
what the case is for all these people right here.
And it's an illegal registration based on state law.
Because this leaves a lot of leeways for people to vote fraudulently, whether it be ballot harvesting or them just voting on behalf of somebody else.
And that's the thing that we have the greatest concern, right? 23 million ballots go through some process. This is one post office in one city, in one county, in our entire state, right? So it just has an exponential impact when you add up all the little small things that are going on.
As you can see, there's a lot of issues with these voting rolls and a lot of inconsistencies. And one of these inconsistencies is people over the age of 100 years old that are eligible to vote. For instance, there's a lot of people over the age of 125.
306.
And in this video, we just filmed around a 15-mile radius. So imagine what it's like all across the state of California. And now let's go see if there's actually 126-year-olds voting in California.
A record holder.
She's right here. Yes.
Hello, Doris.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
We're just going through the voting rolls here, and we're just confirming anybody who's above the age of 100 years old. And right here it says you're 126 years old.
No, you got the wrong house.
Are you Doris Wood?
Yeah, but you got the wrong house. I'm Doris, but you got the wrong place. That's the wrong information, all that stuff. No, that's wrong.
Oh, here, I can show you if you like.
No, it's just that it's wrong.
How come you think here in California they're just messing up on all these voting rolls here?
I don't know, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it says he voted in 51 elections, Doris.
No, not me.
Really?
I'm not no 100-some years old.
I know.
I said I wasn't.
I just want to make sure you're not 126 years old.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it really does say you're
just being,
126 years old here.
In good spirits about this.
Who did this be 126? That don't even make sense.
I know, that's what the Secretary of State says.
Well, the Secretary of State is wrong.
Okay, well.
Put it like this.
Literally, it's a vampire behind this door, and she's like, oh shit, they discovered me. I should stop voting.
I was born in 1940, so you figure that out.
All right, Doris. You have a good evening. All right, so this lady's named Virginia. She's 125 years old. She's voted over 55 times, and she's active on the voter rolls here in California. Let's see if she's home. Hi, how's it going, sir? Doing good?
No, I'm cooking.
Okay, well, I'll be quick. I'm just looking for Virginia, 125 years old.
125 years old?
Yeah. She's registered to vote at this location right here. Is Virginia here?
Yeah, but she ain't no 125 years old.
Really? How old is Virginia?
Here's the thing is, it could just be clerical errors. Somebody put in their information wrong. It defaulted to 1890 or whatever it is, or I'm sorry, 1900. She messed up on the paperwork. I mean, I understand our government system isn't the most efficient, but also there should be something catching this again and clarifying whether it's just bad paperwork, bad data, or fraud. But again, there's nothing there.
80.
80. Well, here on the state of California, she's 125 years old, and she's voted in 55 elections.
Nope.
Is there another Virginia?
No, not here.
Virginia.
10-4. It's only one in the whole world.
Only one in the whole world. Well, I hope she's voting good, because... So she's not 125?
No.
No. Well, is Virginia doing good at least?
So. Well, she's a year younger than me, and I'm 82.
Say, go tell Newsom she ain't 125, she 81.
Okay.
Awesome,
Yeah,
you do that. Have a good one.
Do you see what the problem is?
Yes.
Every location we went to inside this video, there's something wrong with the voter rolls. Whether or not the person's 125 years old, it actually doesn't matter. The part that matters is that the information is wrong on the person who's supposed to be voting here inside the United States. And the other locations, people aren't supposed to be living inside of PO boxes, yet they are registering to vote out of PO boxes, making it impossible to track back who that person is to see who actually cast that vote. This leads to lots of fraud, and everyone should be concerned about the integrity of our elections when people cannot show their own ID when they show up to vote.
Good work from, I think this is his main channel. His side channel had a good video as well, so yeah, I'll post it in the chat if you guys want to watch it as well. But good on him for actually exposing this. But the crazy part about this is the big moment that everybody keeps on highlighting is the dog voting. I can't even find it right now, but the dog voting. So you have all these, I guess these people are liberals, but saying, Nick Shirley exposed that a dog was registered to vote in California. And these people are posting, a Republican attempted to register and have his dog vote. The ballot was rejected and he was charged. So many mistakes in this because, one, it was a Republican, it was a woman that voted, and also the dog was able to vote in 2021, it was accepted, in 2022 it was rejected, and they were caught and they were charged. Yes. But again, you have people that have a fundamental misunderstanding of what happened, but get something like 250,000 views on something that is a verifiable lie. It's an issue because other people run with it, and I think this is also a very, this is rapid response for Governor Newsom. So this is somebody in Newsom's press office responding to the same exact post saying, here's what the right wing is celebrating tonight. A person registered to vote, the ballot was rejected, the person was charged, and they were Republican. All this was done by Nick, blah, blah, blah. Quick Google search does that. Yeah, but nobody was highlighting that it happened. This was Nick basically quoting a mainstream media source saying it happened, which is something you guys should have known about before. But again, one ballot was rejected, one was correctly done. So the idea that nothing caught when the dog voted the first time, and also Republicans by and large, conservatives, middle of the road people, most people don't care what the party affiliation of the fraud is. If they're committing fraud, I want them in jail. If a Republican dog was out there voting, I don't care that they're Republican. I don't care that I voted for Trump and I voted for Trump. I want our elections to be secure. We don't think in terms of right and left. Obviously, they do. I want this person, not this guy. I want the dog, whoever voted on behalf of the dog, to go to jail, whether they were Republican or Democrat. But here it is, them pushing a false narrative again, just trying to get you to think Nick Shirley's a spooky conspiracy theorist when he's highlighting something that we should all be talking about, because DC Drano points out makes a good point, saying they were banned on Twitter 2 years, for 2 years, claiming California's elections were bad. Not only was this post flagged on a Twitter 1.0, but a California records request showed it was Alex Padilla, California's saddest sobbing senator, the biggest bitch in politics, I'll say, is the guy that charged at I forget her name right now, but I forget the DOJ, Pam Bondi, charged at Pam Bondi not wearing his senator badge, and then getting arrested, getting forced on his knees, saying, "Oh my God, I'm just a senator," crying, and then proceeded to go on a press tour for weeks, if not months, crying about his arrest. And it's like, yeah, you're being a punk ass. Like, this is not putting out the message you think it is. This is not making you show America how bad fascist Nazi Trump is doing. It's just you looking like a punk ass. They said Alex Padilla's California Secretary of State office who initiated this censorship request. So he said, audit every California ballot. Election is badness is rampant nationwide, and we know California is one of the culprits, and do it to protect the integrity of the state's elections. Okay, yeah, audit stuff. That's good, right? They have a mark saying this claim about fraud is disputed. Here's their little nudge to get you not to believe it. And then later he found out misinformation briefing, daily briefing 1113. DC Drano tweeted this, and then he got banned for it. So it was actually political powers banning him for just suggesting something that we knew about. This is going to be too lag. Something we knew about. This is a major issue, and the politicians themselves are trying to get rid of the narrative that we can verify that it actually happened. Very troubling. But now you have Governor Gavin Newsom himself, which might be just his press office, and might actually be this guy tweeting on behalf of him. I'm not exactly certain. But Newsom said, after hyping massive fraud for a month, Nick came up empty. He didn't come up empty. If you watch the video, he showed us several instances all throughout Southern California of issues showing that our elections are having issues. So he posted a video about a Republican who committed voter fraud and got caught and was prosecuted. No, she got caught the second time, but the first time was successful, and now he showed us lots of instances on how it could happen again. Very concerning. He's trying to be like Trump and give nicknames. Newsom calls him Slow Shirley, is welcome to extend his visit and enroll in California's free community college. He clearly needs it. Like the many, many people that are AI students in community college defrauding your base. Again, it's just like how Kamala and everybody else, or Tim Walz, whenever they run on something and try to campaign on it, all it does is remind us of their previous fraud or their previous shortcomings. He can't bring up anything without invoking memories of how California is so broken. California public schools, the community colleges are ripe with fraud because he made it free and gave you money for doing it. And now the Chinese, the Nigerians, Madagascar, they can all make fake AI students that go to online class and get cash in hand because you have free college that, again, I'm paying for. Nothing the Democrats say is free is actually free. It just means that we stole money from rich people to give it to fraudsters. Again, the press office is dumb. And what is he doing right now? Complaining, not right now, this is a while ago, but this is him saying the SAVE Act is bad, or putting ICE around voting booths is bad because the quiet part loud. Why would we care if illegals were afraid to go to voting booths?
In LA, do you think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. everybody knows what's at stake. So we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently.
Yeah, you had to put a stake in the ground, and so we had to protect the illegals' ability to vote. And when School Knight says if he's getting pushed back, he's doing a great job. Exactly. Newscomb is never going to address a decoy voice or a decoy social media post because I'm not making an impact like that. For Newsom to address Nick Shirley specifically in a 22-minute video that had like, what was that, 30 seconds of addressing the dog that voted, shows that he's probably not even watching the video. He's just looking at what the press people are saying about it and is pushing that narrative. He has no understanding of what's actually happening in his state. It's because he's too busy out there in Germany trying to say the National Guard, his National Guard, are like the fascist Nazis. It's ridiculous. But one good thing that's happening about it is, even though they took Greg Bovino out of Minneapolis, the rumor is he's actually over there in California now and starting mass deportation efforts over there. I think there was just music on. Yeah, there's just music on this. But yeah, they think they're actually out there making arrests. I think it is a good thing. It means that no matter how much the left wants to say, oh, we protested ICE and we got them out of Minneapolis. It's like, no, they just stopped the surge. The surge was largely successful. They're buying large holding facilities in New York State. They have it in Minneapolis. The deportations are working. The SAVE Act is passing. And the Democrats have nothing but vibes to run off of. Who did the dog vote for? Probably somebody conservative. But you know what? I don't like a dog voting, whether it's somebody on my side or against me. We need to clean up the voter rolls. We need to clean up the system that lets people that are 126 years old cast ballots in 51 elections. We need to clean up the system that allows people to vote from a PO or UPS store tiny mailbox. There needs to be a system in place, and the more the Democrats kick and scream and say, the dog is a Republican, so we don't care now, makes me think this is not a flaw, but a feature. Exactly. It's a principle issue. We want to fix the system. What's wrong with that? Yeah, dog voting is the headline, and dog voting was a headline from left-wing outlets. Suddenly, when it's a quote-unquote conservative like Nick Shirley, then that headline becomes a problem. Just like that one girl in front of the UPS store he was talking to, saying, hey, isn't it an issue that somebody could be voting from this UPS mailbox? And she's like, who are you with? No, I don't want to be involved in your MAGA conservative narrative. It's like, yeah, it's because you don't care about election security. You care about being a good little boy or a good little girl and being inside the box that is, I'm a helpful little Democrat that ignores all logic and reasoning. I care more about Kamala and vibes than election integrity. Yeah, make cat voting great again? Terrible. Mindless drone. Exactly. I'm not naive enough to know that there aren't mindless drones on the left and the right, but I think that we should only be talking to people that are intelligent enough to say, I'm voting on behalf of the makers over the takers. People that are actually going to produce something beneficial for society, we want to embolden them. People that are just going to be leeches and professional leeches all throughout their life, we need to not serve them over the professional makers. They only care about power, yes. People talking about cats voting and Heathcliff for president. I'm not voting for an off-brand Garfield the cat for president, okay? The UPS union has a lot of employees of questionable immigration status. I mean, if you have U.S. postal workers that are responsible for delivering ballots from conservative areas to voting booths, and then you see them flipping off ICE agents in their UPS vehicle, USPS vehicle, I don't trust that system. Garfield already had 2 terms. No, Garfield, what is it? What is it? Garfield without Garfield without Garfield. Garfield minus Garfield. Yeah, it's a we said it was a existential nightmare. These things. How do I find it? Oh, this is actually a website. Yeah, Garfield without Garfield. It's terrifying. It's just comics where they took out Garfield and John Arbuckle was just talking to himself. Kind of scary. Scary stuff. Heathcliff was before Garfield. Again, here it is. I'm not well versed enough to know Heathcliff was before Garfield. Therefore, my vote shouldn't count on whether Garfield is president versus Heathcliff being president. If you don't know what Obama's position was before president and what he contributed as a senator, a junior senator of only 2 years, maybe your ballot shouldn't count on whether he's a president or not. I don't know. That's just what I thought. Fritz the Cat. I kind of remember him. Save Odie. No, Odie was a menace. Okay, Odie. No, we're not Team Odie over here. You're not going to lie, you thought I was talking about Garfield the Cat? I am talking about Garfield the Cat. What are we talking about? Garfield would make lasagna great again? I mean, just get the, what's the thing that they're mandating in tortillas in California? Folic acid? Get the folic acid out of the pasta, and then we can talk. Felix the Cat? Yeah, okay. You said something about President Garfield, like what the heck is happening? Yeah, a weird time for you to pop in. The hardest working Korean on the internet? I don't know, have you ever seen StarCraft players? Or League of Legends players like Faker? No. I'm probably the most deranged Korean on the internet. But then, yeah. No, I'm Team Calvin and Hobbes. That if I was gonna elect a fictitious cat in office, it would be Hobbes. There's a Korean genius coder crew. I know that not Trump, Elon Musk is now looking for a AI programming team in Korea. Yeah. You played whack-a-mole against a Korea you've never been more humbled in your life? There's like elite level whack-a-mole? I was unaware of this. At least I don't play League. No, I try to play League. I just play against bots because that's the only fun thing to do. I'm not trying to get trolled by some kid that plays League all day, every day, and because I picked Teemo in the bot lane or whatever. Like, this is something that's actually happened. I just picked my favorite character. The only position there was like bot lane. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pick him here. And my whole team was just angry at me the entire game. They were sucking too, but apparently it was my character selection that lost us the game. It was just not fun. The Snoop Dogg of cats. No. You can't support me with Teemo? Apparently he's a bad guy. I think I even have a Teemo toy back here somewhere. I don't know where he is, but no, Teemo's the greatest because he's easy. Him and Garen, they're just easy people easy people to be. That's a problem, guys. They have to raise the military age as well. If you can't handle a beer, you can't handle a gun. No, I think you'd lower the drinking age. You can smoke a cigarette. You can drink. You can serve in the military. I think it's fine. How many places, other countries have it where you can drink at 18? I don't think you raise the military age to 21. I think you lower that. Samurai Pizza Cats. Yeah, I wanted to get I saw this pretty cool thing on Instagram. It was like a Samurai Pizza Cat model, and I was like, okay, I'll buy that. It was like something like $200, and I was like, yeah, no, not that much. I don't know any of this stuff. Chat's gone kind of wild now. Yeah, Mexico was definitely a free-for-all. But again, I don't trust Mexico for all the hijinks going on down there and a president that seems to be in favor of it. Yeah, I don't talk like I do in my YouTube videos, like watch another Persona, because the YouTube videos have slowly become the movie theater voice in every single video, and it's like, yeah, nobody talks like that in real life. Especially not for like 3 hours at a time. Yeah, you say you're stationed over in Fort Bliss in El Paso. You could hop across the border and drink at 18. Exactly. Drinking age won't matter in Europe. That law is taking over 100%. They're very liberal, and they think they're being inclusive and diverse, but they're just going to turn themselves into a very, very closed-minded, conservative religious nation, and they don't even realize it. By shenanigans, are you referring to the Luffy stuff? I don't know what that is, no. Yeah, you're in Michigan, you used to go to Canada and you can go drink at 18. Exactly. It's weird stuff. You'd like to hope the EA Sports guy, it's in the game, talks like that 24/7. I mean, if I could talk like that the entire live stream, I think I'd pass out. $120 no, I mean, and I say that 120 proof would be too much. I'm actually I'm a big whiskey bourbon lover, but no, 120 would be nuts. And also I try not to drink that often. I don't even know if on YouTube, like on live streams, you're allowed to enjoy a glass while you stream. I feel like they probably have some rule against that. Oh wait, gotta turn the music back on. I don't like Knob Creek. No, I like Basil Hayden. No sponsorship at all, but Basil Hayden is a very smooth whiskey, especially the smoked variety. It's cheap too because it's bourbon. It's not whiskey, so it's like it's domestic. But yeah, Basil Hayden's been pretty awesome to me. Anthony Cumia drinks on stream all the time, which makes sense. I mean, you have the critical drinker. My playlist is just a whole bunch of AI jazz songs and one AI video game soundtrack sounding song that I made just to have in the background. If you don't have a direct display of alcohol, they don't know what's in the drink. I mean, you can probably see it in my enunciation. Yeah. Question, you said 5070 Ti. I don't even know what that is. I haven't tried 1794 at all. I don't like Crown Royal either. Got a particular, like I'll have, if they don't have Basil Hayden because it's becoming a more popular drink, I'll just have a Jameson because it's the bottom of the barrel drink and everybody's got it. They usually use it to mix, but whatever it is. Joe Rogan drinks on pot. Here's the thing though. Joe Rogan can get away with far more than I can get away with. I feel like if I mention the island, I'm not searchable for a while. And then also, like Asmongold can curse all he wants, and then if I have a video that has some cursing in it, like minimal cursing in it, they flag me for adult content. It's wild. So I know that there's tiers. Like you can get away with a lot if you're either electrocuting your dog or you're very popular, apparently. You call it paranoid BS, but it's not. I can verify it. I'm not gonna share my performance analytics, but I've seen it happen before, and it's wild. Yeah, you can drink on live, but it just affects what advertisers you get. You might get age restricted if the label isn't hidden. Exactly. So it's like they always do these things where it's like we're not demonetizing you, but we're turning it way down. We're not taking away your discoverability, but only people that are logged in with their age verified, they can see you. There's a lot of stuff in the background. And again, unsubscribed guys drink White Claws and mixed drinks because they are also over the threshold. I think once this channel gets over 100K, you can get away with more. But remember that one time I was browsing my own Instagram and I was live streaming from Decaf Decoy and Decoy Voice at the same time. One of them got taken down, not the other. There's levels of this. 2 hours on live stream is when you can start it. Bots kind of stop monitoring at that point. I beg to differ. I think that the AI, because it used to be, you know, a little bit of manual monitoring with like the transcript of what you're saying, but now I think it's just AI identifying things like shapes. Like it's weird. If you ever go on Instagram on your desktop and log in, every now and then images are slow to load and it'll give you a text description of what the AI thinks it sees. It's very bizarre, but it's kind of accurate. Sometimes it's not, and that's what's happening is they're constantly trying to identify what I'm doing on this live stream, and if it picks up something that they think is wrong, insta-ban, because I don't have the what used to be called a P-score. I don't have the trust rating on this new channel. Yeah, anything controversial will get you reported, especially politics. It's very bizarre because I know when I'm getting anti-attention, like people that don't like the stuff I'm talking about, and it's very bizarre because whenever you see it from the left, because it's the left that doesn't like me, it's always angry and adult-oriented. very bizarre. Like you don't like say weirdly adult things against me angrily unless there's some level of attraction. Sad to say. And it's very bizarre because the left constantly bombards me with that in chat. They get angrily adult oriented, and I can't even say what they say to me, but it's interesting, but also very phobic. Like from the party that wants to be all accepting of all the different life choices or whatever, they seem to go only in that direction, and it's very bizarre. They monitor anybody that's not their main earner. No, I think AI monitors everybody that's not their main earner. Once you're main earner, then you get the privilege of a person. The channel will get bigger because they have the work ethic, and we appreciate that. But I think because the channel will get bigger just because of it's got to catch up. Like I think this channel, I always tell people that are trying to grow on YouTube, the main channel, the first 100,000 is easy. I'm sorry, the first 10,000 is easy as the next 100,000, and the next 100,000 is easy as the next 500,000. So it's like, it's a snowball effect. Like this new channel will get there. I think when I was making a dead sprint to 1 million subscribers, I think in the middle somewhere, I stopped making content. Like this is all kind of newer. Maybe I've been doing this channel for 3 months, and then before that, there's like a 5-month gap. There's 8 months, and then there's 3 months or whatever. So I took a long break in producing content for this. Actually, you can see it in my face. There it is. A giant gap in when I stopped making content for this channel, but I think coming back to it, we're gonna be able to grow this to be a bigger community, because right now, what do we have? Like 1,000 chatters on YouTube. Eventually we'll get to what the decoy voice used to be, where it's like, 5,000 to 7,000 chatters where, we have a better conversations. Our puffy old faces? What? It's not even like the Somalian audience that like goes after Shirley. Like I have a very specific type of left-wing hater, and it's very interesting on how phobic they are. And kind of sad, because it's like you can see how non-genuine their talking points are, because it's always just, I'll attack you even if I'm gonna harm my allies. Very sad. Yeah, the ghost of Susan W, I forget her last name, banning channels. Exactly. It's kind of scary to think of, you don't get there by luck. It's like hard work, but just how hard it is to be in the beginning, where the bot is just out there to get you because it doesn't trust you. It thinks you're like some guy in another country using a VPN trying to make a quick buck. You really have to sing for your supper and validate your existence online. Yeah, having racist haters pretending to be anti-racist is very cringy. Exactly. The whole Asian thing goes away when the left doesn't like you. But I'm talking about something else they come at me with. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Asmongold can talk about the island, but they're banning other smaller YouTubers because they don't know what the smaller YouTubers are saying. He has a high trust rating. They know he's not going to go off too far off the deep end. But some guy that just made their YouTube channel might be saying some straight up like rancid adult stuff, so they kind of have to keep them on a shorter leash. I'll get there eventually, just not right now. It's called inclusion unless it's something they don't believe. Exactly. But that's a longer video. Talk about the Bronx. Talk about the Bronx. Let's talk about these takeovers over in the Bronx, because apparently they had this insane Bay Plaza takeover where they say 500 youths, and it's always sad when they make up euphemisms for who they're really trying to talk about. But literally, lawlessness in New York, some arrests, but they don't get everybody. Like, look at all this destruction. This is just, is this like a Taco Bell over there? Like they just, and destroyed a table? How'd they even manage that? Destroying what looks to be a McDonald's because apparently they were holding their back. What? Yes, the youths did this, and they even vandalized this McDonald's with a Wendy's bag. That's how much they're against it. Did Popeye survive? No. They didn't destroy the McDonald's and leave the Popeyes alone. Yes, this is New York City. Or did they allocate all the police resources like a final stand at the Popeyes chicken? No, they didn't. But that was okay. This is like the more milder version from Freedom News or Scootercaster. This right over here this is Crime in New York City. This shows how the actual mall got attacked. It's pretty bad. Now they were making some forceful arrests. I think I have to skip.
Mira eso, peleando con la policía. Pero ¿y esos muchachos? Son locos. ¿Está viendo eso? ¿Está viendo?
All essentially, like, I mean, obviously it's cold, but they're like the mini version of dressing in black bloc.
Peleando con la policía.
But yeah, they made a lot of arrests, and then inside the mall, the caption on TikTok was, "It's only 45 degrees," because they say once it gets warmer, these riots in the mall are gonna be worse. Okay, not the music. This looks like that McDonald's, isn't it? But just destroying it for the sake of destroying it because they think that the youths don't need to be thrown in jail. They need to be given treatment and care and after-school programs. They can't be held liable for what they do. But the sad part is, this girl that went to the mall over there, mind me talking about, these people are actually afraid for their lives.
See y'all dumbass kids who decide to run through this mall today and ruin it for the rest of the workers? Like, y'all fucking bored, my nigga? Like, where the fuck is y'all parents at?
Exactly.
It's already 10 times worse. We gotta get on the bus with y'all, and half of the time y'all be fighting and roughhousing on the bus. It's so fucking...
And I wonder if she turned around and voted Democrat. Did she vote for Mom Donnie, or is she someone that is based in reality and knows just because you're young doesn't give you a free pass to commit all these crimes? Because, yes, it does seem that, what is it, News 12 said teens were arrested after the mall riot.
This morning, we're learning more details about an apparent teen takeover at the Bay Plaza Mall yesterday. We now know that multiple teens were taken into custody following that chaos. We've got News 12's Brittany Cadet joining us now from the McDonald's in the Bay Plaza area with a look at some of the damage left behind. Good morning, Brittany. I see the caution tape behind you. Walk us through how we got here.
They're unburdened by what has been, yes.
Yeah, Marcy, good morning. I mean, it was a scene straight out of a movie with several teams wreaking havoc inside of the Bay Plaza Mall and outside on the strip of businesses, known to the neighborhood here. Now, that entire chaos spilled onto the businesses here on the sides of the mall. Take a look here, especially at the McDonald's. Like you said, you can see that caution tape here and this gaping hole of shattered glass left here at this McDonald's. Now, this is just one of many of the damages that were left behind when all of these teens were wreaking havoc on several businesses here. Now, hundreds of teens were seen at a chaotic Bay Plaza Mall yesterday afternoon, a day when schools were closed for President's Day. Now, police were called at around...
Okay, so when you don't give them something to do, they just get up to something? No, I don't think that you have many schools in Tokyo that have a day where they don't go to school and they just end up destroying the local McDonald's. I think this is something different.
2:08, just a few minutes after this scheduled takeover. When police arrived, we're told they were met with huge groups of chaotic teens. They were warned multiple times to disperse, and that's when several of them
they were warned to disperse. Once you've taught them that they won't be held liable for their actions, they get up to this. That's why, like in Los Angeles, you have massive groups of kids riding bikes, and I can't even play it on YouTube because they say it's dangerous activity, which it is, but once you tell them we won't chase you because we don't want you to get hurt in the police chase, and also if we do catch you, we're not going to do anything about it. You incentivize these large groups of kids to do whatever the heck they want and basically terrorize their own community. We can't. This is not sustainable.
Taken into custody. When our crews arrived here on scene, dozens of teens approached our news car. Now, we're blurring their faces due to them being minors, but they tell us why they were doing this.
What was the reason that you say?
Because everybody was bored.
Everybody was bored. That is societal rot at its finest. If we are bored, we destroy things. Sad to say, you start throwing them in juvie now. You start showing them consequences now. If you don't get a hold of it here, When they become adults, it becomes worse, and they harm their own communities, they harm themselves. This has to be handled. What'd they do to Red Lobster?
And as you can imagine, just the fear from several employees of these businesses when this all was going on, just because these teens were bored on their day off from school. We did speak with a worker here at the McDonald's yesterday who said he was scared for his life and he just wanted to get home to his children. Yeah. But as we know right now...
And here's the thing, is because they know, sad to say, if they decide to start, like they shattered the windows, they took off the cement from that table. If they decided to start throwing hot fire oil on them or pushing them around, they know that they can get a lawsuit from getting punched by the worker, but the kid, nothing will happen to them if they punch the worker themselves. So they realize there's nothing to stop them, no fear of repercussions, they can't defend themselves. It becomes very real very fast.
McDonald's will be opening up for businesses.
There you go, yeah.
We do know that Chipotle also closed early yesterday due to this riot that was happening, and the Bay Plaza also says they'll be open for business as usual, operating on their normal business hours. And we're also told there was no damage to their knowledge to that mall. For now, we're live here in Co-op City from McDonald's. I'm Brittany Cadet, News 12, The Bronx.
This morning, we're learning more
I don't want to watch more. What do you call it? Lone Raven says no boot camp and farm work. Actually, I agree on that. Put them in labor camps and let them know what it is to be Amish or something. Like, I remember a long time ago, I was working a security gig for the Kardashians event, and me and he was probably my superior, maybe my coworker at the time, but you saw the people at that event acting ratchet and dumb, trying to get attention and all that stuff. And I remember hearing something from my coworker saying if his daughters were ever acting this way, he'd send them back to Mexico so they can live detached from all this nonsense trying to get social media attention. And I didn't really understand it until kind of now, where it's like, yeah, they're living in this high times where if I'm bored and I'm not constantly stimulated by TikTok, I can go out there and destroy the city. It's like, no, how about you go to a place where there's actual consequences, the adults can do something about you being a delinquent, and you actually have responsibilities because the village is starving or something. I kind of get why they need that, because yes, they said, what was it, not this, that YouTube thing kind of switched forward, whatever. They say multiple teens taken into custody. That's what this headline is. But the sad part is, from News 12, if you look back, March 31st, 2025, so almost 1 year to the date, they said the Bay Plaza, soon as it gets warm, they had an influencer appearance triggered teen rowdiness and viral videos that resulted in arrests. And then they said, there were brawls in the mall earlier. They came there and they destroyed things. So it's like, if they can't stop it, they say, you know what? We're not going to arrest them because they're kids. You're going to get it every year on the dot, like clockwork. They're not stopping it. And the scary part is the same way that drug dealers will use the kids to be their lookouts or to be their mules or to be somebody that commits the more, not dangerous, but the more exposed crimes, because they realize, hey, they can't do serious time. They'll only go to juvie. I'm worried, not worried, I've confirmed that the left is starting to capitalize on this level of lawlessness, because you see over here in downtown Los Angeles, and we've been talking about it for weeks now, the Fall Guys, where they use them to walk out on their protests against ICE because they think that, one, they won't be punished for it like the adults are, and two, if you get a Grenade Good or Alex Preddy incident, it's more emotion-evoking, which is terrifying that they're setting this up.
Breaking news out of downtown LA, where students are walking out in protest of recent federal
dangerous.
immigration
Like, why do they have them
operations.
out there? And that's why they're firing teachers that are allowing this to occur. But again, this is not stopping any deportations. Again, they're being ridiculous by holding up flags of countries that 100% do enforce their border laws, if not more aggressively and angrily than the US does. But they're putting them in harm's way for no reason. Useful idiots, human shields, get them back in school. Yes.
Let's check in with Rich Prickett overhead in Sky 5. Nice little crowd down there.
Nice little crowd. This is how KTLA covers this. It's a nice little crowd. They're all exposed to being ended. Like Good or Preddy, or just any of the many various kids, like the kid in Nebraska that was run over. Nice little crowd, according to KTLA.
About 100 students or so, or 100 people, presumably all students, are on Los Angeles Boulevard. They're making their way north up towards closer to the 101 freeway. They were on the steps of City Hall just moments ago, and then they started to march.
Again, because you don't have control of them. The teachers were trying to say, hey, 5 different schools are in the downtown LA area. We're all going to go to City Hall at this hour to protest. Then we're going to the federal building at this time to protest. You don't control the mobs. They do whatever they want. If they decide to march on the freeway, they're going to do it, and you can't stop them because you haven't empowered LAPD to do anything about it.
And we thought maybe they're headed over to the federal building, but they are right now. They're on LA Avenue or LA Street, and it seems to be rather peaceful.
Dare to struggle. I want the middle world to wake up and realize immigrants. I want the whole world to wake up and realize immigrants built America. Interesting how they think these people only got very, very productive as soon as they got to within the borders of what America is. But if they were in another continent, or they're in a continent south of us, or even just across the border south of us, they can't make those countries great. Nobody's bending over backwards and taking dinghy boats to immigrate to those countries. But for some reason, they only built this country and then went back home. And now they went back in. Very bizarre logic. Maybe if they were in school, they would realize how porous it is.
About 100 students or so, and again, this all started around City Hall.
Here you go. Existing is not a crime. I understand that existing wouldn't be a crime, but the sad part is they don't come here to exist. It's getting free rent, pocket money, free healthcare, being freely transported across the area of the country, and also sometimes committing heinous crimes if they want to go into the jailhouses to grab them and deport them. We don't care if you're existing. But the same thing is when they try to falsely equivocate the pioneers that came to America and people that are immigrating now to get free social benefits and welfare. The pioneers that landed here in the beginning were fighting Indians, diseases, turning dust into civilization. That's very different than the person coming here saying, I want my Medicare card, I want my free room in the Roosevelt Hotel, and also, I want to be able to commit crimes, go to jail, and be protected from the federal government from enforcing border laws. Very, very different things, if only, again, they were in school to realize the difference.
Students walked out for anti-ICE and the recent immigration enforcement. Live in Sky 5, Rich Prickett. Send it back to you.
I wonder what happens when they start to enforce they start to surge Los Angeles. Because the scary part about this is very misinformed people. They always say, "Oh my God, Trump is like the fascist Nazis," but it's almost like the left is now becoming like Mao's dictatorship. People keep on calling them the Red Guards, and I had a very loose understanding what it is. But if you read this, I'm not gonna read all of it, but it seems spookily similar to, hey, we have a bunch of people that are willing to destroy their own community because they're bored. What if we weaponize that stupidity and had them march on leftist, ironically fascist ideals? What'd the Red Guard do? The Red Guards are paramilitary youth organizations, primarily composed of middle school, high school, and university students formed in the mid-1966 under the direction of Mao Zedong to spearhead their cultural revolution. They eradicated perceived bourgeois, I don't know how to pronounce that, and traditional elements from Chinese society. These groups that swelled to millions were tasked with destroying the four olds: old customs, old culture, old habits, and old ideas. Kinda like Western values. Let's make a whole bunch of low information, easy to sacrifice groups, and have them go after traditional values. They would have struggle sessions, beatings, face armed clashes with urban populations. The internet factional warfare escalated and threatened state control. Mao ordered the military to suppress the Red Guards, dissolving the groups and rusticating most members to rural labor camps or re-education, effectively ended their reign, but leaving a legacy of cultural devastation and political trauma. I almost see America having the same exact story arc with this, because if we essentially have the Red Guard, there is a little bit of pushback. Like this happened over in Los Angeles, and now the states State's Attorney Bill Asaley said, LAPD is putting students, parents, and schools on notice that skipping school is against the law. Adults who facilitate such activity can also be criminally charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Good. They're finally going after them. They're arresting them. But the scary part about the Red Guard was middle school, high school, and university students. How is it that what filthy normies like me, you think Harvard University is the pinnacle of education? Very, very prestigious Ivy League school. Is it Ivy League? I believe so. Whatever. But the idea is they now have a class where undergrad students literally fill out asylum applications for illegal aliens. Again, the Red Guard was there to get rid of the traditional elements, to go against it, and using university students. Now we're actually having them pay. What is Harvard University? What is their annual tuition? You could be paying over $82,000 annually for them to become left-wing activists on your dime.
So the Harvard History Department has a class where undergraduate students literally just help fill out asylum applications for illegal aliens.
What weird labor is this?
For why we haven't defunded this entire system?
Exactly. Defunded.
Why are we sending federal tax dollars there? Just imagine if it was like the opposite, like if students were required in class to comb through border data to find illegals to help, DHS deport them.
And here's the thing, is I want somebody to be going through that data to find illegals to deport. I think that there's people that are here that commit crimes that should be gone. But again, if I send my kid away to $82,000 university, I want them to be learning about science, technology, medicine, engineering. I don't want them to be an activist for a governmental organization that we're already paying billions of dollars to do it anyway. This is insane, but again, the left and the right aren't the same.
Imagine the uproar from the left. Do you think that would be federally funded with tax dollars? So the Harvard
again, and that's why we think that we don't like Democrats, but Republicans can be garbage too. If Trump isn't pulling every single federal dollar from the University of Harvard or Harvard University until this is fixed, Republicans can't accomplish anything. It's very sad that that's where we are right now. Yeah. 4D chess move, they use those asylum claims to track down people down to report them. But under the Biden administration, you saw them all throwing away their passports and their IDs, getting across the border and saying, my name's Mickey Mouse, send me to New York City. They get to New York City, they never come to their asylum hearing. You don't know who they are. And the scary part is, under the Biden administration, what we used to do is we would do DNA testing. You have to do like a cheek swab. It takes a couple seconds of an adult and a kid. Because we want to know, hey, if you say you're bringing your family across the border to seek asylum, I want to know if this 35-year-old tattooed gentleman is actually this young woman's father. Let's DNA swab to make sure you are. For whatever reason, during the Biden administration, they stopped doing it, so trafficking of young girls into slavery skyrocketed. We don't know where those kids are. If they won't even do something as simple as a DNA cheek swab to verify you're actually family, they're not actually getting enough information to verify whether that asylum claim was legitimate, whether that was your real name, and are you actually going to show up for your court hearing. The system broke entirely. It's crazy how fast they push this crazy agenda. It's crazy how ridiculously regarded they are, because this is the future leader of the Democrat Party, in my opinion. She has too much steam. She's too conventionally attractive for the Democrats to not run her. But here she is, AOC being AOC again.
You know, we look at what happened in Venezuela, for example. It is not a it is not a remark on who Maduro was as a leader. He canceled elections. He was an anti-democratic leader. That doesn't mean that we can kidnap a head of state and
I don't care that what he's doing down there. If Venezuela is impacting American elections with Dominion, I think we have a say in this.
Engage in acts of war just because the nation is below the equator.
She said it. Obviously, I make a lot of missteps and misspeaks a lot, but also I have no institutional power. I'm not in Congress voting on things, because she's talking about Venezuela. And if you look at the Library of Congress, something that she should know about, Venezuela is very clearly above the equator, but here she is giving her opinion on what it is. Yeah, you say the equator goes to Peru. If so, yikes. It's like at the top of Peru. But here's the thing is, I'm not giving you statements about this. I'm not going overseas to browbeat you and talk to you about what Venezuela should or should not be doing if I can't even point it out on a map. But here she is giving essentially her expertise. She doesn't know where it is on the globe, but she is not shy from giving her expertise on what Venezuela is or is not, and what their dictator is or is not.
9-year-old socialist from Queens, the woman considered the brightest star in the Democratic Party,
She really
refusing
is.
to call a murderous, brutal dictator for what he is, a murderous, brutal dictator. When asked today whether Venezuela's notorious Nicolas Maduro is a dictator, she refuses to label him as such, saying, and I quote, "So I think this is absolutely a complex issue. I think it's important that we approach this very carefully."
I don't want to have any of my supporters get angry at a dictatorship, even though 90 to 99% of Venezuelans that live in America were happy over the dictator being overthrown. She hasn't gotten her talking points yet, so she just needs to tread water until then.
Excuse me? You think it's a complex issue? I mean, shouldn't your answer be yes? I totally denounce that regime and the horror it has put its people through.
They call 80-20 issue, but it was more like 99-1 issue, and still couldn't do that. But the sad part is, she's over there in, was it Germany, I think? Where is she right now? I don't know. Wait, I'm sure I can figure it out. In Munich. Okay, so she's in Munich right now, and she's trying to tell them, people, that socialism's okay, or, yeah, socialism's okay, because those are her talking points, but someone's gonna school her.
When you run for president, are you going to
Oh, wow, that volume's way low.
impose a So when you run for president, are you going to impose a wealth tax or a billionaire's tax?
I don't think that I don't think that anyone, and that we don't have to wait for any one president.
Oh my god, you're carambling again. This is... Kamala wasn't a... I guess, an example of how dumb they've gotten. She's just a symptom of a system that is... When you promote people based on their appearance, their vibes, and their ethnic identity, you're going to get idiots in office. And this is just yet another example of it.
To impose a wealth tax, I think that it needs to be done expeditiously.
Oh.
You have the recipe that many Latin American countries applied many times.
Someone that's actually experienced it.
That is some relief in the short term, but end up being, a tragedy for the future. It's like public expenditure, huge public expenditure, price controls, sometimes wealth tax. And
that's what they're doing in New York City right now. Oh, wealth taxes, but also price controls, government-owned bodegas. It's going to be a nightmare.
You end up wealth goes away, and you have just the tax, and you don't have wealth anymore. That was something that Peronism did many times. So all these recipes then creates a cycle, no? Then you have this short-term relief, but then goes with inflation, shortage. Then you have more poverty, and this and the cycle goes and goes.
Something we've seen time and time again, but then hearing it to her face is not an eye-opening moment. But it's funny how people keep on pulling this up, where after she made her statement about foreign policies, socialism, and Venezuela being below the equator.
But of course, the dynamic there in terms of geopolitics and the war in the Middle East is very different than people expressing their First Amendment right to protest.
Well, yes, but I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that to me is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
Did she just say vibes live?
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also I am not the expert on geopolitics on this.
Again, I have a statement to make about this, but don't make me make the statement about it. Like, it's so sad that that's where we are in the world right now, where it's, I understand there's something bad happening. And again, I agree that there's major issues over there, but I really don't touch that subject that much because I don't know the most about it. But the sad part is you being in office, going to Munich, going to, I don't even know where this is, but going around the world, browbeating everybody else saying they're not doing it right, but not even doing it right in your own area, because AOC is a congresswoman that has parts of the Bronx and Queens. And then currently, the Bronx has these major issues as Mamdani has turned New York City into Mamdanistan. They say there's drug tents, so essentially stores with like prices on the side. Like, look at this.
Hey yo, niggas in the Bronx still in waiting the chance, bro.
Shops open, all the different quantities you can get written on a thing. Illegal activity. There's no permitting here. Illegal activity in broad daylight. Not one.
Niggas eyes been outside in the chance, homie. Look at this. See that?
We have issues. And is she out there fixing that, saying, hey, maybe this is a danger because they're not checking IDs or kids being exposed to this? No, she's over there saying, we need to fix what's occurring over in the Middle East. But I'm also not an expert in it. And I don't think this guy's a dictator, even though their citizens say he's a dictator. But I don't even know where it is on a map. Like, this is the status of the Democrat Party today. And the sad part is, this is like their brightest star. Like, this is probably who they're going to have to run in the near future, because they don't even have a bench beyond Kamala, Newsom, Buttigieg, the Bridges are racist Buttigieg, Fang Fang's boyfriend, and her. And the other thing is like, oh, she was probably a bad bartender. The problem is we want someone that's lived in the real world. We don't want professional mooches. Like, what is it? Bernie Sanders has only had jobs in politics, if I'm not mistaken. You want somebody that has probably been in the private sector, a Donald Trump, even a, who's the, Vivek Ramaswamy, to a lesser extent, the, who was the Asian guy that I don't even like him, the whipped cream guy. He was a Democrat, but you want someone that knows what it is to provide something to society, to know how to best serve the people that provide things to society. People that were only bartenders for a little bit, got a college diploma, didn't apply it to anything that was beneficial to her community. Yeah, Yang, Andrew Yang, that was him. Yeah, they might run Shree Donnie Dar. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but. Yeah, you mean Republicans? By and large, yes. But again, there's lots of professional parasite Republicans that have been in office for far too long, have not produced anything of value, and just seem to slowly give in to Democrats as a professional policy. That's all they've ever done in office. I want them to be gone as well. Yeah, what is it? AOC is a rich girl playing pretend with real things. I don't even know. Is she like a rich girl? That might make sense. It has like no actual like real life experience. The heck? Trying to close windows everywhere. That's a big ass G.I. Joe in the background. No, it's not. It's not actual G.I. Joe. It's that guy Jeff Dye. He's a comedian. He signed that thing for me when he was out here in California. He's a great stand-up comedian. If you like my channel, you'll love his stuff. So if you ever get an opportunity and you see Jeff Dye from, I think it's jeffdye.com, if he's performing live in your area, not only is he great, his opening act is great. Go watch him if he's nearby you. It's good. Okay, AOC's rich girl from a rich white area. I actually do remember hearing that, where she's like representing the Bronx and tries to like advertise herself as Bronx girl, but she's not really. She's like someone that grew up in a very, very wealthy area. It's almost like what is it? Kamala Harris tries to say she was like, you know, first she was a average Indian girl, Asian in California, and then try to say, oh, I grew up, you know, celebrating Kwanzaa, and I would have she was washing collard greens in the tub or something bizarre to that effect. And then it turns out that she predominantly raised in a rich area of Canada. Yeah, Kamala pretending to be black. Like, all these people are fakes. I like at least the idea that Trump, you know who he is, top to bottom. You get what you get. You're very informed on his good side, his bad side, and everything in between. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett from the streets, yet richer than most. Also how she has lots of clips of her being completely normal and regular, but then when she wants to street it up and get ghetto, she does it as if that was a selling point. Very bizarre times. Small to medium-sized business owners that are successful and their employees and community benefit. Exactly. Before they get so large that they become the villain, that they go beyond being able to see the day-to-day operations. And I think that's with all corporations, where it's like, the last corporation I worked for before I did this job, you could tell when it was a family that owned it, they had lots of controls over it, and then some of the original family members had died off, and then it became very corporate. They had brought in CEOs and elites from neighboring failing competitors, and then the business pretty much got cannibalized from within, because it wasn't even like private equity. It was just idiots that thought they knew better than the day-to-day processes. They live in their elite cities, have no idea what it is on the surface level, boots on the ground, and just refuse to change with the times. Very sad. Wasn't Walmart, but Walmart's a good example of it. Yeah. Walmart keeps pricing up their stuff lately. Inflation is far worse than it is. I think the Fed just said they're going to inject trillions of dollars in the economy, so they didn't like the inflation numbers, so they definitely want to create more. Need a base form or blue-collar guy in politics like Brandon Herrera. I think Brandon Herrera will win this time around, and we definitely should see a shift up there. Because I think that Brandon Herrera will probably be more transparent than most guys that get in Congress. F Walmart, too many weird people for you. Going to Walmart is a strange experience if you haven't been there in a while. Brandon's very pro 2A. I enjoy that. I actually met him briefly at the Donut Operators Range Day, but also I didn't really know many people from his crew. Like, I know Donuts because I watch him, but then the other guys in his crew, I honestly couldn't recognize them in public. Didn't Trump go against Brandon? I mean, if he did, he did. It doesn't make me not support Brandon. I'm not so disconnected from, like, the world where I'm like, well, if MAGA doesn't say so, then I don't say so. It's like, no, I don't toe party lines. I just want good people up there. You say you don't watch Donut. Maybe you watch... There's several different facets of Donut. Just like how I have Decoy Voice or Decoy, and I have a Decaf Decoy. You might not like the side channels and not know you're watching the side channel. His main channel is still the main channel. I think that's what it is. It's probably just someone doesn't know they're watching side channel and didn't realize it. Like, I try to keep main channel and side channel. Like, if you're watching a Decaf Decoy, I need to update this right here. But if you're watching Decaf Decoy, the thumbnail is this style. Me here, over there, possibly experimenting with like the Asmongold thumbnail style. But you should know this is a Decaf Decoy thumbnail. And then if you go to Decoy, you should know this is the professional. I'm a professional YouTuber now. This is a carefully edited together video. You should know what you're watching with this. So yeah, I try to keep them very separate on purpose, so people don't think, oh, Decoy Voice fell off, when it's just, no, they're different. They're different channels. This semi-pro YouTuber would be like, I still have a day job. I only do this. Asmon thumbnail getting out of pocket lately, but that's him evolving with the time. Like, it's sad to say. Like, I'm not I'm not hating on Tim at all, but let me show you. Where is his other video? Here we go. This is it. This is weird because that's an AI voice singing in the background. It took me forever to realize that Asmund Gold isn't Asmond Gold, like Almond Gold. Almond Gold TV, should that be my new thing? Almond Gold? But yeah, Asmund Gold. So, let's see, hold on. You say, Asmund Gold's thumbnails went off the hinges lately. But if you look at this, where is it? Asmund Gold's thumbnails and titling are very, wait, is he reacting to me? No, he's not reacting to me. That's not me. Yeah. I blurred out all those people's faces. I didn't know how YouTube would feel about that. But, gamers, oh, here you go, thumbnail, titling. Gamers actually won. Gamers won. I was just reviewing it recently. What is most why gamers won? Like his titling being very short. But the thing is though is if you looked at maybe because we have like kind of a symbiotic relationship, like where he'll watch my stuff, I'll watch his. I think this is him watching me. Yeah. We'll go back and forth, but then titling. When did he kind of change? There was like this something is meta, right? I was using the same thing to get good viewership, but then now you're watching Timcast. Whoever's doing his titling, this proves everything, this proves everything, he did this on TV, he confirmed it. He's missing the spirit of intent, he's not getting it correct, but you notice that Tim's viewership hasn't fallen off, but they've gone down recently. Tim is trying to catch up to essentially me, and I'm trying to catch up to Asmund Gold. And Asmund Gold, as he's the pace core, he moves the meta to what I would say is text message titling. Like this isn't a YouTube title that Timcast is in. CNN is gone. This is a major announcement that signals the end of cable. This is old school YouTube titling with a lot of keywords in it. This just looks like a text message you would get from somebody linking you this video. This is dumb, and then you watch the thing or whatever. Very, very conversational thumbnail titling, but honestly, it just shows how Asmund Gold's managed to stay on top because he constantly pivots with what the current meta is and the audience are reacting to, because eventually people are gonna get sick of this. Like, what? I don't get. Gamers actually won. Like, what does this mean? But it's currently hitting, and his team is moving and pivoting with how the internet's reacting to it. Clickbait titles are expected. I don't like doing clickbait titles. That's why you have something that says something like, what is it? This cost him everything. Newspaper guy found out. Consequences are finally here. Within the first minute of my video, you see what I was talking about. Obviously, I can't do the same thing with these live streams, but it seems a little clickbaity, but at least you get like, I say when you watch my video, or you see my thumbnail, you see my, my title, it should feel like a sneeze is coming on, like where you sneeze and you feel good, but if you don't sneeze, it's this weird feeling of like, oh man, I need that relief. So when you see this title that says it's not a joke or CNN humiliated itself, within the very beginning of the video, you should see why it's a joke or why it was inevitable or why they humiliated themselves. Like there's a reasoning behind why I do it. I would say it's not clickbait, it's responsible clickbait. He does, wait, what? He does 3-minute, 4-minute videos. I don't have 20 minutes every day. I don't know. Lazy clickbait titles annoy you. Your decoy voice titles are a nice balance. It's a little bit the last generation, but it's still working, so I'm sticking with it, you know? Click reel, exactly. Click reel. That's what it is. You stop watching Liberal Hive Mind over his thumbnails. I will say him and one guy in particular, both people I really like, they're nice people. Their thumbnails have not evolved quick enough, in my opinion. Again, they're more successful than me, so what am I to say anything? But there's another person that their thumbnails are straight up from 2010. You can tell they're from 2010, and they just refuse to move it forward, but will constantly say, YouTube algorithm doesn't like me. It's like, yeah, because you're trying to make videos to the YouTube algorithm of like 2015, not 2026. That's why they don't like you. It's not Benny Johnson. It's not Benny Johnson. I think Benny Johnson does good work, especially on Instagram. I don't watch his YouTube so much, but it's not him. Don't sit still. I never sit still. I'm always moving, guys. That's why I have a standing desk too. Let me see. I had something else to do, but I kind of feel like that video would be. If we did that video too, then we're kind of going off the deep end because that video would be longer. So we're probably gonna live stream tomorrow too. But let me go ahead and get to some super chats. Where's my live? Is this? Yeah, Decoy uses red text format like many others, and that's the thing. Is like, I used to experiment. It was yellow, it was white, it was red and white, but then I feel like there's the branding and you know what you're seeing a Decoy video because the text is red and bold. You know, it's a specific font and it's there. Oh yeah, we don't got that many super chats, so it's like bring back baseball jerseys, no more burgundy. I mean, burgundy shirt is my my trademark almost. I thought it was funny when Candace was saying those guys are wearing burgundy shirts. Most men don't wear burgundy. I'm like, I feel like that's most of my closet. You ever tried running local AI models? I'm thinking about using the Cloudbot on a Mac Mini if I can purchase it, but I gotta get my friend to help set it up because I don't understand it. Thank you, Dick Vitale, for the super chat, just $5. Appreciate that. And I see Freely now says, where do you announce your lives? I don't really announce them anywhere. I should probably announce them on my Twitter and my Instagram. So if you follow me on, it's Decoy Posts, but then I think more importantly, Instagram is where I probably should post my lives. Actually, no, let me see. Yeah, what is it? So Twitter, if you follow me over there, I think you actually can watch my lives on Twitter. Yeah, my Twitter. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, here we are right now on Twitter, so you can watch it there. Or on Instagram, I'll probably start to post announcements. So nobody's really following me. Follow me on Bcoy BTS on Instagram. I'll probably post my live schedule and when they're going up over there. That's probably where I'll make that. So it gives people a reason to go there because things like if I'm ever out of town, I'm doing a vacation, or I have something brief I want to say. If you're on Instagram, you can kind of see the behind the scenes part of it. Cloudbot runs on 10 megabytes of RAM. It's super small, but I've heard that like my buddy that's very like computer oriented, he actually has it programming for him overnight. So maybe I want that. Locals, I don't really have a locals. I don't want to do a Substack. I might do what's called a ghost. So on decoyvoice.com, I can have my own type of thing. I only said that as far as when the AI moderation got kind of weird with me. Hasn't done it in a week or so, so maybe I will do that. But we'll see. We'll see if I end up saying, oh, here's my paid for channel membership, here's how you support me. Again, I don't want to be online all the time panhandling for pennies, but that might be the go-to, so we can kind of be more free with what we talk about and not be worried about censorship. Okay, everybody keeps on talking about Zydax. What's Zydax? Zydax almost seems like... oh crap. This almost seems like something that I would take if I was like depressed or anxious or something. So it's just expensive computers. I mean, Donut uses it, so maybe I will. I think, what is it? There's a affiliate marketing, maybe. Maybe I do that, I don't know. It'll probably be between the Zydax computer and then the Storeforge computer. I'll never do a crypto scam, guys. If I ever want to do like a Decoy coin, I will just say, give me cash. Empty out your savings accounts, meet me behind this liquor store, and give me the cash. That's the Decoy coin. We're gonna cut out the middleman. There's no rug pull. There's no programmer or engineer that makes my Decoy coin. Just give me the cash. That's what it'll be. Yeah, Zydex says it has a long list of side effects. That's what it looks like. Just start the cult. I mean, yeah, the Decoy cult. I don't even know what our mission would be. We'll start the cult, guys. decoy crypto controversy arc. Whatever happened to the Hawk Tua girl? I know she had the coin, she had the rug pull, and then she sold her account. But I wonder if she did anything. All digital, no coin. The decoin, the decoy. It'll just be pennies. It'll be the original copper penny. Will be a revival cult of the penny. And we'll call it the decoy coin. Hawk Tua fighting for her freedom. I don't even know what she did. She streams. Is she? Let's see. What was her name? What was her name? Haley Welch. Yeah. Where does she stream? She's on. Okay, she's on Kick. I mean, we have similar followers and we have similar viewership, and she's doing IRL streams, so that's a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, oh, this was a year ago, so this isn't even recent. This is before the controversy. Where's her other streams? And I don't know. Doesn't matter really. 3% penny. That's a 3,000% return. No, that's 3,000% negative return, right? Newsom is Justin Trudeau's test tube brother. They're both psychos. No lies detected there. NZXT computers. Okay, I'll check that out too. And you know what? If she sold out and made all the money in crypto, how many people? I always compared the Hawk Tua girl with the that MFR is not real girl. Like, you guys probably don't even remember this, but how far back do I have to go? Probably not that far back if I just go by popular. Yeah, remember this? The he's not real girl, the flight video girl. This is 2 years ago.
I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or.
Remember her? I think she had the potential to become like, if she, at its peak, when people were trying to figure out who she was and nobody knew who she was, if she had made a podcast talking about that MFR is not real. She just talked about paranormal things, and she was like the Y-Files, but she was a pretty white woman talking about conspiracy theories and what she saw in space or on the airline. She could have launched herself a career. The Hawk Tua girl, immediately from her viral moment about adult stuff, she had a podcast, she had a cryptocurrency. It may have gone down in flames, but at least she cashed out, unlike the that MFR is not real girl. She did nothing with her 3 minutes of fame. Donut threw planes with her? Did she? Really? What was her name? That MFR is not real lady. What was her name? Tiffany. Whoa, if you just type, wow, if you just type her name in, that's a... Was that really her? I don't know. She has no affiliation. It's all... Why is it all bikini pictures? Very bizarre. But okay, I don't think that she actually flew a plane with Donut. Doesn't say it, but maybe I'm just not finding it. Oh, she did? Okay, I couldn't find it. It's not his ex. They really did? That's crazy. I couldn't find it online. She never saw anything. I think that's why. No, I think in the beginning she was ashamed of it. She was having a meltdown. I think it was an argument with a family member over headphones or something to that effect. She was ashamed of it. But honestly, it's like, you're not going to escape a viral moment like that. Might as well lean into it, you know? Oh, Donut talked about it. Okay, okay. Yeah, Donut brought it up on a stream. I feel like a lot of you guys also watch Donut Operator. I know he raids the chat a lot, but he kind of just sits there, at least in my opinion, he just sits there on YouTube and just searches things. But I mean, okay, like, he has a lot of good stuff in his feed. Let's just expose myself right now. Like, what does my YouTube feed look like? So it's Diablo 2 soundtrack and rain ambience, Pokemon lo-fi mornings, 90s movie childhood, nostalgic suburban music and ambience. I can't play it, it's gonna be copyrighted music, but this is the GOAT playlist. It's got content about, I usually watch Kevin O'Leary about watches. Nick Shirley, Amiru, How to Look Better. This is like a Quoves account. They just talk about like, facial harmony and stuff. Video game content, Asmongold, Tim Pool, more ambience music, Cash Jordan, ambience music, Disney ambience music, new K-pop ambience music, information about China, more ambience music, like Japan travel, watches. I don't have anything in my feed. Maybe I need to just reprogram what's in my feed, but honestly, we're not going to review watches. We're not going to listen to ambience music. We're not going to listen to ambience music again. Like, that's my entire feed, guys. Like, I can't do what Donut does and just watch it. Facial harmony, it's just about things like, things you don't realize, like it's your facial thirds. Like, what makes an attractive person attractive is apparently your lowest third is the same height as this third, the same height as this third, and what you choose facial hair wise and haircut wise should be impacted about what your facial features are doing. Like, that's why some people look good with beards, that kind of short Balbo beard, better eyebrows, like what to do. And I like watching it. The Cove's content is pretty cool. There is some good body cams, but it's all diluted. Exactly. I can't be like Blue Ocean Strategy. I got the book back there. It's a business book about being your own person. You don't want to make a political content live stream channel and just be a shittier version of Tim Pool and liberal hive mind. You got to make your own thing. That's how I kind of pioneered concise, lighthearted commentary with a weird sounding Asian guy. Like, it had to be its own thing. I would do body cam reviews, but honestly, Donut already does it better than me. I'm like 10 years behind him in terms of getting good at it, so why be a shittier version of Donut? You say it's pseudoscience, you're talking about the facial thing, but honestly, it's I think it's true. I think it's good for me to figure out how to get my facial thirds good. What is it? People have said the better hairstyle choice is like long and wavy as opposed to when I had essentially the broccoli cut, and I believe it. You don't sound weird, fam. I mean, when I worked at a drive-thru at a burger shop, there was not a 10-minute period of time that I didn't take somebody's order over my little headset and say, you want this burger, you want these fries, you want that shake, cool. They'd come to the window and be like, I wasn't expecting Asian. The weirdest thing is, where's the black guy that was taking my order? Like, they would just assume that shit. And I've said a couple different times, but it's one time when I worked at a department store. This is the most bizarre thing. We would order things, so it's like, oh yeah, you're looking for this mug. We don't have this mug. We're in the LA location. Maybe the Santa Monica location has it. So let me call the Santa Monica location and see if they have it. I would call the same stores over and over, and there was a girl that was also full-time, so me and her would talk a lot. No funny business at all, just you have conversations with somebody all the time. And then one time the department store had a big meeting for a big sale, so we all got together in one location. So I've probably known this girl over a year of talking to them over the telephone. All professional conversations, nothing like just whatever, right? A coworker introduces me to that person saying, hey, Jenny, we're just making up a name. Hey, Jenny, this is Decor. You've known him for a long time. Meet him. So I say, oh, nice to meet you. I go to shake her hand. She, like, looks me up and down, kind of like crazy, stupid love, and just looks at me, says, you're not buff or black. And walks away from me. Like, at no point in time did I call her on the phone and say, hey, what's up? I'm looking for this mug. By the way, I'm black and I bench 275. Dude, what? Like, she was offended of my non-buff, non-blackness and just made it up in her head. Very bizarre times. And that's the thing, is just I have a radio podcast voice. I just have a distinct voice. I think it's just very different from anybody else. Emotional damage for both me and her. I mean, at least I told this story millions of times. It's very funny. It's almost as bad as there was a very, very, like, model-esque attractive girl. I was in a class with her and her brother, and her brother was telling me about how she's just very stuck up, and he said at the beach she's walking around in a bikini, and some guy walks up to introduce himself to her to shake her hand, and she just straight up said to him, "Would this body talk to that face?" And it's such a bad diss. It's such a creative diss, but you'd get emotional damage. Like, this girl really said, "Would my body talk to your face?" But it's a funny story. I bet you that guy told that story for years on end. This is like decades ago for me, and I'm still telling this story, so it's hilarious. Like, I think getting rejected in creative and mean ways could be emotional damage, or could just be a funny story. I think it's a funny story that the idea that that people have made fun of my voice all throughout my my childhood and growing up, and now it's become, like, you know, my calling card. What do they say? One man's flaw is another man's calling card. Barbara Streisand's nose, Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice. Most people would hold them back, but you can just kind of lean into it, and it'll be what it is. I mean, that's a very, very cold line, but it still makes me laugh till today. One man's flaws, another man's calling card? No. Yeah, remember the homeless guy with the golden voice? Yeah, he got a career off of that. That was awesome. Now you're imagining an 8-year-old decoy with his adult present-day voice? Exactly. It is an emotional cabbage. Yep. Yeah, it probably hurt in the moment, but long term it didn't really matter. Yeah. So we probably will live stream tomorrow. Kind of feels like maybe the clips need more time, more space to grow. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but thanks for hanging out as long as you have. I will see you guys tomorrow, if not Thursday. But subscribe to me over on Instagram if you guys really want to know. It's Decoy BTS. We'll make announcements over there. But thanks for hanging out as long as you have. But for now, duck off.